versus the Cincinnati Reds. The pregame show with Neil Hartman is brought to you by Roy Rogers, the one-of-a-kind place for that one-of-a-kind taste.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the pregame show. I'm Neil Hartman. This afternoon, the Phillies hope to salvage the weekend series with the Reds after losing the first two games of the series. On today's program, Phillies general manager Lee Thomas will join us to talk about the moves he will make this week to prepare the ball club for the final month of the season. Plus, we'll profile Mariano Duncan and check in with Pete Rose on his latest venture in Florida. But first, let's take you back to last night's ball game between the Phils and the Reds, a matchup at Veterans Stadium. Cincinnati, a sub-500 ball club, has given the Phils fits this weekend. The Reds are doing it without injured Barry Larkin and Kevin Mitchell. Top of the second, Phils down 2-0. Tommy Green having trouble getting outs. Pitcher Bobby Biella doubles, scoring Juan Samuel, and it's a 3-0 Reds lead. To the third, 4-0 Reds. Ayala makes a mistake to Darren Dalton, who clouts his 22nd home run of the year. It's a two-run job. The Phils down by 2, and for Dutch, it ends a long dry spell of home runs. Bottom of the fourth, Pete Incaviglia off Ayala. Solo opposite field shot his 22nd, and the Reds have a slim 4-3 lead. Then Mother Nature hits, and hits hard. An hour and 5-minute rain delay and the swirling winds at Veterans Stadium. Unbelievable last night. Later, lightning strikes again for Inky. A blast to deep center. His 11th two-home run game of his career. Phils are up 5-4. But in the sixth, with Bobby Thigpen on in relief, Thomas Howard puts the Reds ahead to stay. A 3-run shot, and Cincinnati takes a 7-5 advantage. Jeff Reardon comes on for Cincinnati. He'll ruin Pete Incaviglia's perfect night as the Phils drop their second straight to the Cincinnati Reds by a final of 9-5, as Inky has no luck with that one. And again, a 9-5 final is your score as Thigpen picks up the loss. He's now 2-1. One note about Thigpen. Thomas Howard last at bat in the American League was with Cleveland. It was against Bobby Thigpen, and he does it again last night with a home run. 9-5 Cincinnati over Philadelphia. The Phillies have lost 5 of their last 7 games. The Cardinals picked up some ground last night, winning on the West Coast. Final in Los Angeles was 4-3 St. Louis over the Dodgers as Lee Smith picks up his 43rd save of the season. We'll take you now to action in the National League West with the Cubs and the Braves playing at Wrigley. Top of the second, no score. The speedy Sammy Sosa on first, and Steve Avery's throw gets him. But the bottom of the third, Mark Lemke at second. Otis Nixon slaps one to center field. Sosa boots it, allowing Lemke to move on and score. 1-0 Braves. Nixon moves on to second, and it's an E8 on Sammy. Next batter, Jeff Blauser. He'll single up the middle, and Sosa has no shot this time. Nixon scores. It's 2-0. And that was all Atlanta needed, and Steve Avery was just marvelous last night, or yesterday afternoon. Steve Bichelle grounds to Blauser for the final out. A 5-1 complete game win for Steve Avery, moving the Braves now to within 4 of the Giants. For Avery, little fireworks. Yeah, the fat lady is still rehearsing there in Atlanta. And as you take a look at Avery, he's now 6-1 since the All-Star break, picks up his 15th win. 15-4 is the final. Other National League scores, it was Montreal over Houston 7-3, San Diego over Pittsburgh 5-3, and it was Colorado 7 and New York 5. Now in the National League East, you can take a look at the Phillies' lead is 9 over the Cardinals, 10.5 over Montreal, who's gone 7-3 over the last 10. St. Louis is at Los Angeles again today. Watson against Hershiser. In the National League West, you have on top San Francisco, but holding on to that 4-game lead over the Atlanta Braves, who are 7 of their last 10 have won, and San Francisco, as you can see there, 4 out of 6 they've lost. San Francisco and Atlanta begin a 3-game series on Tuesday in Atlanta. Now, we'll get to the American League pennant races in just a moment, but what about yesterday in Williamsport, the championship game of the Little League World Series? Let me set the stage for you. Bases loaded, 2 outs, game tied in the final inning between Long Beach of California and Panama. Now, Long Beach sends to the plate their final reserve, 4'11", Jeremy Heiss. He nails a liner to the wall in right center field. What a way for this young man to finish his Little League career. It's a double. It scores the game-winning run, and the kids from California won last year's championship game. By default, win it 3-2. Sean Burroughs, the big hitting star, 2 no-hitters in this Little League series with 3 home runs in the series. Kid is a heck of a player, and Jeff Burroughs, the 1974 American League MVP. That's his son. Now, great moment yesterday in Williamsport. There was plenty of memorable moments from this past week in the big leagues. Here's a recap. And how about that? The pennant races are the center of attention, especially in the National League West, where the Braves, with a sweep at the stick, have chopped their way back into the race, driving some Giants up the wall and others right into it, while the Bravos just continue to go right over it. Thank you. Being out of the race can make you see red and sometimes end your night earlier than expected. It's just getting tougher and tougher to stay in the game. Isn't it, fellas? Hey, stop raining on our parade. Quit making a mess. Sweep up and watch this glove work. Yo, heads up. How about that's in your kitchen? But it's time for this one to hit the bedroom. How about that is brought to you by Roy Rogers, the one-of-a-kind place for that one-of-a-kind taste.
Definitely not.
Absolutely not.
Negative.
To save pennies per call on your 800 service, would you risk losing sales?
No way.
No. Not a chance.
That's what over 9 out of 10 800 users we surveyed said. Introducing Maximum Advantage from AT&T. Now you can automatically get AT&T's lowest price guaranteed on the most reliable 800 service in the business. Know anyone who can beat that?
No.
Maximum Advantage from AT&T, the best in the business.
Rock. Rock Supreme. Bike. Bike Supreme. Vacation. Vacation Supreme. World. World Supreme. Taco. Taco Supreme.
The Taco Bell Supremes.
Nachos. Nacho Supreme.
Something special. The works.
Burrito. Burrito Supreme.
Everything we've got, starting at just 89 cents.
Bell. Bell Supreme.
In Africa, they are legends. In all the Americas, you could not see one. Until now, the white lions. 2 of them, only at the Philadelphia Zoo. You could spend a lifetime searching for a glimpse of one, or spend a day at the zoo looking at 2 for as long as you like.
We're growling, leaping, creeping, hissing. Oh, what furry fun you're missing. Fun by nature's here for you. The Philadelphia Zoo.
Guests on the pregame show receive a gift certificate from Fila Athletic Footwear and Apparel. Basketball, tennis, golf, and swimwear. Fila. Change the game.
The pennant races in the American League have gotten even tighter in the past week. We'll start in the AL East, where the Yankees and Blue Jays are neck and neck, and the Tigers, Red Sox, and Orioles are all on their tail. In Cleveland Saturday, Yanks starter Jimmy Key got hammered. 3-1, bottom of the third. Candy Maldonado clouds his first as an Indian home run. Bucks boys trail 4-1, and yeah, he summons for some help. Key made it to the 4th, though, and Carlos Baerga was glad. His 20th homer of the year. Tribe up 6-1, and Jimmy Key was gone after 3 1/3. The Yankees played poorly all day. Watch this play. Baerga caught in a rundown, but the Yankees blow it. That was the kind of day it was for the New York Yankees yesterday in Cleveland. New York loses at 8-4 as your final. 4 home runs in the game, including Albert Bell's 34th home run of the season. At the Kingdom, the Jays and the Mariners out in the Pacific Northwest. Yeah, happy birthday, Lou Piniella, celebrating his 50th birthday. Bottom of the 8th, 1-0 Jays. Cito Gaskin as reliever. Danny Cox walked Griff Jr., then walks the bases loaded. And Al Leiter watches as Dave Magadan sacrifice fly scores Brett Boone. Tied ball game. Next batter, Mackey Sasser and Cox. Wild pitch. Go-ahead runner scores, and the Jays lose another late lead. 2-1 the final from Seattle. The Jays remain tied with the Yanks atop the AL East. We'll show you that in a moment. John Olerud 0 for 3 now, batting .388. Danny Cox, the former Phil, is your loser. At Comiskey in Chicago yesterday in the AL West, White Sox are feeling some pressure from Texas and Kansas City. Ellis Burks delivers his 16th homer of the year off Twins starter Kevin Tapani. Then top of the 9th, Twins down 4-0, 2 outs. Chuck Knobloch drives one to the gap with a runner on. Chip Hale scores, and down 3, now Knobloch with just a mental error as he gets thrown out by a mile at third, and Chuck's embarrassed, or his friends are at least, and they take cover. The final was 4-1 Chicago over Minnesota. Rookie Jason Beret, 8 scoreless innings. He picks up the win for Chicago. Here's scores now, or check the Orioles and the Rangers, rather, as one final highlight for you, where a very windy Arlington, Texas, where, yeah, Juan Gonzalez doesn't worry about the wind. He just powers it out of there. His second home of the game, 38th of the year, 6-0 Rangers in the third. And then bottom of the 7th, Juan Gonzalez crushes another one with Kevin McGehee on the mound, matching Griffey Jr. now for the Major League lead at 39 home runs. Juan's third home run game of his career, and the O's fall 11-1 to Texas. Dean Palmer also with a home run, his 28th, so the power hitters for Texas getting it done yesterday in Arlington. Here's your American League final scores. Detroit over Oakland 5-3. In 11 innings, Boston over Kansas City 2-1, and California 6 and Milwaukee 2. The American League East scores, or standings rather, look like this. Detroit with 9-1 in the last 10 games has picked up some amazing ground now, only 4 back of Toronto and New York. Boston and Baltimore still hanging in there. In the American League West, you have Chicago still holding on to a 3.5-game lead over Texas. Nolan Ryan, by the way, placed on the DL, pitched yesterday off the mound, and a little soreness. He'll be expected to come back in the second week in September, but on the DL for the 3rd time this season. That cannot be good news for the Texas Rangers. That brings you up to date on the pennant races in both leagues. Of course, the Phillies lead is the most comfortable one in baseball with 5 weeks to go. Still, any general manager will sweat it out to the end, and that's what Lee Thomas is doing. The Phillies general manager joins us live from the vet. Lee, first of all, thanks for joining us. How comfortable do you feel with a 9-game lead right now with about a month to go in the season?
Well, I think you said it right. A lead is never too comfortable until you actually clinch it. And, you know, we've been playing pretty flat the last few days here. But you're never really happy until no lead's big enough. Let's put it that way.
Lee, with the way the current waiver wire rules are set, it's hard to add a player down the stretch, isn't it?
Well, it is right now because there are so many clubs that, you know, claim everybody out there to keep the other team from getting certain players. And, you know, I think something has to be done about that. It just takes away a lot of movement. This is a time of year when fans like to see trades. Clubs like to make deals to help themselves down the stretch, and you can't do that.
You'll be making your September call-ups this week in addition to solidifying your ball club for the playoffs, Lee. Give us an idea of what you're thinking of doing. You have 11 pitchers. That's a lot.
Yeah, we have 11 pitchers, and Jimmy and I have discussed that. We're probably only going to go into the playoffs, if we make it, with 10 pitchers. So we're going to bring 1 player up here before the first, and then after the first, we'll probably bring up about 4 players.
All right, let's talk more specifically about a couple of players. How about Tony Longmire? He's played very well in Scranton this year.
Well, I really don't want to get into saying who we're going to bring and who we're not, but yeah, Longmire is a good candidate to come up here, and Morrow is another one, but there's a couple of guys that I just soon not talk about until they come. You know, too many things could happen. Somebody could get hurt between now and then.
Yeah, here we're taking a look at Tony Longmire at Scranton this year as Mike Lieberthal's looking on. What about Ruben Amaro? He's also played very well, and I know you don't want to get into specifics, but Ruben, when he was up here earlier this year, played very well.
Well, when Ruben came here, he won a couple of games for us. I think he's got a little better head on his shoulders now than he did before. His feet's on the ground a little better. And I think this guy can either help us or another big league club. And, you know, Ruben will be one of the guys that will be coming up here.
All right, Jim Fregosi decided not to pitch Ben Rivera until later in the week because, let's face it, Ben's been struggling. How do you see Ben being utilized down the stretch and in a playoff situation?
Well, you know, we've got, what, 5.5 weeks to go, and each one of our starters is going to probably get another 4 or 5 starts. And I think Jimmy will make a decision, you know, the last week or 10 days of the season here, who he's going to use going into the playoffs. And I think you go with the hot hand myself.
So for Ben Rivera, that might be long relief work?
Well, right now, if you did it now, you'd probably lean towards that. But, you know, he'll have 3 or 4 more starts, so, you know, who knows? A lot can change between now and then.
Lee, you must be pleased with the way your minor league system is finally developing. As an example, fans are seeing Kevin Stocker producing this year.
Yeah, we really feel like we're starting to turn the corner a little bit. We know we've got a long way to go. We've got a kid by the name of Shaw who can hit the long ball, a catcher by the name of Moeller. Botalico is a right-hand pitcher that we like an awful lot. And, you know, I said it before, it takes a lot longer to get the farm system going than it does the big club, and hopefully we're on the right track. We've got a long way to go, though.
All right, Lee, being very cautious with your words. I can understand that. You got 5.5 weeks to go. And again, we thank you, Lee, for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
All right, Lee Thomas, Phil's general manager, joining us live from Veterans Stadium. Now, coming up, we'll look at Mariano Duncan as the pregame continues.
On Real Stories of the Highway Patrol.
That's it. Get it. Get out, get out. Good boy.
A canine unit stumbles across a motherload of marijuana, over 52 pounds.
This is not his first load. This is probably his 40th or 50th load.
Plus,
Anybody hurt?
a drunken woman tries to explain her life-threatening mistake as angry onlookers protest.
Don't drive drunk.
On Real Stories of the Highway Patrol.
Tomorrow at 7:30 on PHL 17.
Write down this phone number, then put it in your car. Because if you're ever seriously injured in a car accident, you can call this number 24 hours a day. Be in touch with the law offices of Manchell, Lundy, and Lesson. We have more than 30 years of experience, and no one will work harder for you. So if you are ever seriously hurt in a car accident, we're able to take so much of the pain out of recovering what's legally yours. Write down this number, put it in your car. Oh, and give it to someone you love.
The secret to a strong finish is endurance. Introducing High Endurance, new from Old Spice. A breakthrough deodorant that doesn't wear out like the other guys. Here's proof. This is a day's worth of our deodorant. See how it outlasts the leading stick even after 24 hours? Now that's endurance. For the longest lasting, hardest working, the best deodorant stick, demand proof. Get new High Endurance from Old Spice. You won't go far without it.
Welcome back to the pregame show. I'm Neil Hartman. In a little bit, the Phillies face the Reds at the Vet. One of the reasons for the Phillies' success this season has been the productivity of a number of role players. Mariano Duncan has been Jim Fergosi's reliable utility infielder all season long. He might not be the best fielder on the team, but he sure can hit the ball, and he's been a valuable contributor from day one. You can always count on Mariano Duncan to deliver a smile or lighten the mood whenever possible. The Phillies have counted on Dunk to deliver a lot more, and he has.
Well hit. It might be. It could be. Grand slam. A grand slam home run. Mariano Duncan. Can you believe it? The Phillies lead 6-5 in the 8th.
The best way that I can say, when you play that game, you have to go out and have fun. If you don't have fun, just quit, because that's one of the reasons you see my smiling all the time in my face, because I just say when you play that game, you have to smile, When everything goes right, you have to smile, and when everything going bad, too.
Growing up in the Dominican Republic, Mariano began playing baseball early on. His idol was a countryman displaying his skills on the show.
I started following baseball since when I'm 9 years old. I remember that my hero, there used to be Cesar Cedeño, they used to play for the Houston Astros. I remember this all day, I used to cry all the time. They tell my mother, they give me some money, they go to the ballpark and see Cesar.
Now Mariano is the man the kids look up to.
I never forget where I coming from, I remember, all day when I used to play in Dominican, I don't used to have really shoes, real glove, real baseball bat, we used to play down the street with no glove, with no bat and nothing like that. Just try to go out and have fun. And for me now, they play in the major league level and have opportunity, they have contract, like shoe contract, something that I never had before. Those guys, they pay me to wear those shoes. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people in Dominican, when I come back there and I just give all that stuff to those guys, they really appreciate that for me.
As a member of the '90 Reds, Duncan experienced his best year in the majors. He's now sharing that feeling with teammates.
I remember I talked to Kurt Schilling about 3 days ago, and I say, Kurt, you happy right now, but when you see a ball club clinch, going to the playoff, you want to see the feeling, because that's the best feeling in the world.
In his 9 years as a pro, Dunk has seen a lot, but this is something special.
This is my 13th that I play my career, and I think I have my best hunt in Philadelphia. I have one ring, and I need another one, because the one that I have for Cincinnati is for my son, and the other one that I want to have for the Phillies is going to be for me.
Very pleasant fellow, Mariano Duncan. Mariano won't be in the starting lineup, so the sellout crowd at Veterans Stadium won't see Mariano. He gets time off for good behavior. Phillies have a decision to make at the end of the season. Mariano's contract is up with an option for next year. It might be tough to let Duncan go. Our minor league memory this week comes from former Phillies pitcher Dickie Knowles, who is now working in the Phillies organization as a drug and alcohol educator. Dickie's story is only possible in the minor leagues.
Asheville, 1976. Spartanburg Phillies versus the Asheville Tourists. Man, what a game this was. Last game of the season, I was pitching it, and I'd had a terrible year. It had rained and rained and rained, and I was like, thank goodness I don't get another loss, but I was like wanting to pitch in the other side of my mind going, maybe I can get 5 victories. Well, the guy that wanted to get the game in was their general manager. He burned the field. Lit the field on fire and burned the field, thinking that was going to dry it off. We're out there laughing, going, this guy's an idiot. Let's go home. We'd had a terrible year. And then so now they could bring the sprinklers out with rain and put the field out, to put the fire out. So we're saying, well, this guy, we ain't going to play this game. So they put the tarp on. We wait another hour. Then the ground crew takes the tarp off, spills rain all over the field. Now we're playing. It's wet. Mike Foot's underwater pitching, and I'm out there going, base hit, base hit. This is ridiculous. And then the most absurd thing I think I've ever seen in the minor leagues happen on a baseball field.
In the bottom of the 6th inning.
We're playing. Rick Lisi, strong right-handed hitter, hits a line shot. Nobody knows where it went. Went straight down in the mud like a golf ball, and it was a heck of a divot. It stayed buried, and nobody could find it. Third baseman's going, what do I do? Rick Lisi runs through the bag. I'm going, get the ball, idiot, throw him out, and he's going, where is it? And I walk over and go, where is it? Nobody can find it. It's buried right in the mud. Finally, you seen the tail end of it sticking out, or just a little bit of the seams, and we pulled it out of the mud. Unbelievable. Only in the minor leagues.
In Africa, they are legends. In all the Americas, you could not see one. Until now, the white lions, 2 of them, only at the Philadelphia Zoo. You could spend a lifetime searching for a glimpse of one, or spend a day at the zoo looking at 2 for as long as you like. And don't forget Magical Thursday evenings, half price for kids, 2 to 11, every Thursday from 4 to 8, now through September 2nd.
The secret to a strong finish is endurance. Introducing High Endurance, new from Old Spice. A breakthrough deodorant that doesn't wear out like the other guys. Here's proof. This is a day's worth of our deodorant. See how it outlasts the leading stick even after 24 hours? Now that's endurance. For the longest lasting, hardest working, the best deodorant stick, demand proof. Get new High Endurance from Old Spice. You won't go far without it.
Darian risks his life to save a fugitive's son.
I'm losing it!
On the next
We're going in!
Time Tracks.
Wednesday at 8 on PHL 17.
The weather's hot.
All of a sudden, we were just like...
And love is...
broad shoulders, blue eyes, and a tush to die for.
Sizzling.
He was like...
Oh, yeah, all right. On Love Connection.
Weeknights at 11:30 on PHL 17.
August 24th, 1989 is the day Pete Rose was suspended from baseball and put on the permanently ineligible list. When asked about gambling on baseball, Pete says he can't prove he didn't gamble because he can't prove something that didn't happen. Well, Rose is doing just fine right now without baseball. He's active in many business ventures, as I found out when I visited Pete in Florida. How does he spend his time? Well, his restaurant, he talks to folks like you and I.
And now, here's Pete Rose.
Thank you. Let's get right back to the phones. Let's go to West Palm Beach and Irene. Go ahead, Irene.
Our family went down to your ballpark cafe last week.
Yeah?
Had a terrific time. It's a wonderful place.
Well, thank you. Let's go to Barb in Dayton. Go ahead, Barb.
Hi, Mr. Rose. Thanks for taking my call. Who's the toughest pitcher you ever faced?
The guy that gave me the most trouble was Randy Jones. I can't really say he was the toughest pitcher. He was the toughest on me as an individual.
From a glass-enclosed studio in Rose's restaurant in Boca Raton, Florida, baseball's hit king each weeknight talks to fans in over 80 markets throughout the country. On this night, an old teammate stopped by to reminisce on the air.
Now stepping in the studio, a good friend of mine, a gentleman who helped the Mets win the World Series. He helped the Phillies. I say he led us to the World Series in 1980.
I helped Cincinnati win the World Series a few times.
I think your birthday says Frank, but we know you as Tug McGraw. Tugger, what's up?
It's great to be here in Florida, Pete. I wish the weather would get better.
Did you enjoy Philadelphia more than New York or vice versa, or just about equal the same?
I don't know. You know that's not a fair question. I mean, it's like asking you if you enjoyed Cincinnati more.
Well, I enjoyed Cincinnati more. I mean, I love Philadelphia. It's my hometown. I mean, neither one of those is your hometown. You're from California.
Right. I'll tell you what. It was kind of an equal experience because
you still live in Philadelphia, so
I know, but it's in
you might get hit by a cab if you live in New York.
That's right.
In addition to the radio show, there's plenty of attractions here at the Ballpark Cafe. There's the game room, and then a short walk over here is the souvenir stand, where Pete later in the evening signs autographs. And then, of course, there's the restaurant with great food and plenty of memorabilia.
Sure, I wish I was still in baseball because the money's easy and the money's big. But other than the paydays, I don't miss being at the ballpark per se. The radio show and the business are now the ballpark.
The only advice I can give to any kid playing baseball is to have fun.
Is it what?
Have fun.
Have fun.
That's what baseball is all about. We'll be back. Don't forget, this is Zubal Week on the Pete Rose Show. We'll be back after the news for a lot more of your phone calls. So hang in there and come back with us.
So as you can see, Pete Rose doing awfully well down there in southern Florida. Phillies schedule this week takes them on the road to Chicago and then Cincinnati. Cubs all-star first baseman Mark Grace told me he likes the Phils from top to bottom.
They've had Hollins down, and Batista's come in and done a great job for him. Eisenreich's come in and done a great job for him. Incavilla's having a great year. Milt Thompson. I mean, the guys that you don't hear a lot about. Usually, you just hear about John Kruk and Darren Dalton and Dave Hollins and Lenny Dykstra. But it's not that just therefore. It's not those guys' show. It's they got a whole team now, and they've got solid pitching, and they deserve to be where they're at.
And again, it'll be the Phillies against the Cubs beginning tomorrow night here on PHL 17. Then we'll have a pregame show, an afternoon edition for you. Stan Hochman of the Daily News will be joining us on that pregame show, analyze what's going on in baseball. That'll be Tuesday at 3 o'clock here on PHL 17. In our news and notes segment this week, the Yankees' Jimmy Key has been a very reliable starter up until yesterday's loss. You saw in the highlights earlier, lasted only 5 innings per outing, won only 3 1/3 innings yesterday. Mike Moore of Detroit, 6-1, 2.42 ERA since the All-Star break. How about Boston? First 3-game win streak in a month. In the National League, the Braves are 21-2 in Steve Avery's last 23 starts at Braves bullpen and Braves pitching staff now getting the job done for Bobby Cox. Pete Incavilla, 77 RBIs with just 84 hits. Of course, 2 home runs last night and a bunch of RBIs for Inky. He has been marvelous all season long. And, of course, Long Beach, California, congratulations, first U.S. team to win consecutive Little League World Series titles. Well, the pitching matchup today, Danny Jackson against Tim Pugh. Should be a pretty entertaining ball game against a sellout over at Veterans Stadium this afternoon. That'll do it for the pregame show. I'm Neil Hartman. I'll see you during the game with pennant race updates. Sit back as the Phillies take on the Cincinnati Reds on PHL 17.
The pregame show with Neil Hartman has been brought to you by Roy Rogers, the one-of-a-kind place for that one-of-a-kind taste.
AT&T, for sure.
AT&T?
Definitely.
If price were no object, which international long-distance company would business people choose?
AT&T.
I'd say AT&T. People said they'd choose AT&T 7-1 over anyone if price were no object, and now it may not be. Introducing Maximum Advantage. Now if your business spends over $200 a month, you can automatically get AT&T's lowest price guaranteed on international and domestic calls with
AT&T.
Absolument. Maximum Advantage from AT&T. Far and away the best in the business.
Write down this phone number, then put it in your car. Because if you're ever seriously injured in a car accident, you can call this number 24 hours a day. Be in touch with the law offices of Manchell, Lundy, and Lesson. We have more than 30 years of experience, and no one will work harder for you. So if you are ever seriously hurt in a car accident, we're able to take so much of the pain out of recovering what's legally yours. Write down this number, put it in your car. Oh, and give it to someone you love.
A fortune in gold under lock and key.
A thief would have to get all 4 keys. Quite impossible.
A moving train.
Steal from a moving railway train? I've alerted the railway line to take extra precautions.
An opportunity professional thieves couldn't afford to pass up.
Well, an unmarried gentleman must amuse himself.
From the creator of Jurassic Park, Sean Connery, Leslie Ann Down, and Donald Sutherland star in The Great Train Robbery, Tuesday at 8 on PHL 17.
There's a new addition to the Bundy household.
What does that toilet have that I don't?
Good job. Tomorrow at 6:30 on PHL 17.
Hi, everybody from Veterans Stadium. Welcome to Phillies baseball this afternoon. The final game of the series, the Phils and the Cincinnati Reds. It'll be Danny Jackson for the Phillies and Tim Pugh for Cincinnati. Harry Callis with Rich Ashburn and Andy Musser on a sunny afternoon for baseball. Sold-out crowd here at Veterans Stadium today, and the Phils will try to salvage one against these Reds who have really picked on the Phillies pitching staff in this series so far, Whitey, and Phillies need a good game from Danny Jackson.
Yeah, what happened to the team, the regulars that Cincinnati had? They're all hurt, so they put these guys in, and I don't know, they're hungry. They're trying to make a ball club, and they've scored 17 runs. Danny Jackson had probably his best outing his last time out. He seemed to think that he has the technique down now, and, you know, they need him, and they need an excellent ball game today.
Pete Incaviglia had a couple of home runs last night in the losing cause. He's back in there today in the number 5 hole, Andy, and he'll be a key.
He will, Harry. We've said many times he's a streak hitter. He's in a good groove right now. Incaviglia brings a 7-game hitting streak into the contest. During the streak, he's batting over 500. And you know the Phillies just don't see any left-handed starters anymore, so Incaviglia's got to play against some of these right-handers, and he's done a good job.
It's going to be 3 weeks before the Phillies see a left-hand starting pitcher again. But this afternoon, it'll be Danny Jackson for the Phils, Tim Pugh for the Reds. Starting lineups for you after these messages. The Phillies and the Cincinnati Reds is being brought to you by Budweiser. Fresh, pure, natural, proud to be your butter. By Mellon PSFS, the official bank of the Phillies. By the Bell of Pennsylvania Yellow Pages. No other book can match it. A Bell Atlantic company. And by Independence Blue Cross and Pennsylvania Blue Shield. Personal choice. The health plan that controls costs, not people.
Working together in all that you do, and you're giving it your best. Proud to be your bud. Budweiser. Proud to be your bud. Proud to be your bud. Ooh, yeah. Proud to be your. Proud to be your bud.
When Bob borrowed a lawnmower, all he got was short grass. When Bob borrowed hedge clippers, all he got was nice shrubs. When Bob borrowed a ladder, all he got was red shutters. When Bob borrowed a hose, all he got was wet. But when Bob borrowed money, he got indispensable banking services. The Mellon PSFS Smart Accounts. The package accounts for people who borrow as well as save.
Definitely not.
Absolutely not.
Negative.
To save pennies per call on your 800 service, would you risk losing sales?
No way.
No. Not a chance.
That's what over 9 out of 10 800 users we surveyed said. Introducing Maximum Advantage from AT&T. Now you can automatically get AT&T's lowest price guaranteed on the most reliable 800 service in the business. Know anyone who can beat that?
No.
Maximum Advantage from AT&T, the best in the business.
Well,
very stirring rendition of our national anthem by the St. Catherine's Choir from Reading, Pennsylvania. Beverly McDevitt, director. It's a hot day today at Veterans Stadium for the final game of this series, the Phillies and the Cincinnati Reds, and we have a sold-out house here, jacket day, and all youngsters 14 and under getting Phillies jackets today. They won't need them today, but they'll enjoy them later on as a great keepsake to have. Phillies lead in National League East is 9 games. St. Louis did win their game last night at Los Angeles, so the Phillies lead is still 9. And the Phils have lost just the second series all year here at Veterans Stadium, as Cincinnati won the first 2 games of this series. The only other time the Phillies lost the series here at the Vet was earlier this year to San Francisco.
The lead is the same as it was a week ago, which is probably the good news. The Phillies haven't been playing that well, but neither have the Cardinals.
Davey Johnson's Cincinnati lineup today will have Jacob Brumfield, center fielder, leading off. Hal Morris, first baseman, bats second. Thomas Howard, the left fielder, hits third. Chris Sabo, third base, bats fourth. Tim Costo will be in right field, hitting fifth. Brian Dorsett, the catcher, bats sixth. Juan Samuel at second base, hitting seventh. Jeff Branson, the shortstop, batting eighth. Batting ninth and pitching Tim Pugh, and they will be facing Danny Jackson.
Danny Jackson, almost 5 strikeouts per 9 innings, almost around 3.5 walks per 9 innings. He's won 10, lost 9, ERA not bad, 3.54.
Defensively, Dave Hollins at third base, Kevin Stocker at shortstop, Mickey Morandini at second today, and Ricky Jordan at first. Todd Pratt doing the catching. In the outfield from left to right is Pete Incaviglia, Lenny Dykstra, and Wes Chamberlain. The umpires this afternoon, Mike Winters will call the balls and strikes. Brian Gorman at first base, Mark Hirschbeck at second, and crew chief Bruce Fremming at third. Cincinnati players having a good time with a Philly fanatic, Jose Rijo. Jose Rijo dropped him, threw him to the ground from behind, and then they doused him with Gatorade and water. And Fanatic retaliating with his water gun. Reds players having a lot of fun with the Philly Fanatic, and especially Jose Rijo. Rijo, during the rain delay last night, was feeding souvenir baseballs to the fans in the stands. He's one of the top pitchers in the National League, or in baseball for that matter, and Jose seems to have a good time despite the fact that the Reds have not had a very good season. Phillies will not see him in this series, but the Phillies will see him at Riverfront next week, probably next Saturday night. He's got the second lowest ERA in the league and leads the league in strikeouts. Jacob Brumfield leads it off. He's had a hot series, hitting .625 in the first 2 games of this series. Overall, he's batting at .281. One strike to Brumfield. Just missed. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Dugout getting on him already.
Scoreboard has 2 and 1. I thought that first ball was a foul ball. No, 2 and 1
off Pratt's mitt.
2-1 pitch, bouncing ball, shortstop. Stocker has it and throws in time to get Brumfield 1 down. Sent along our best to Tom Holtzhauser of Mullica Hill. Tom, great Phillies fan, watches our every game.
Phillies would like to get through the early part of this game without falling behind 4-0, which they've done in the first 2 games.
There you see Jackson's numbers in his last 7 starts. He's been probably the Phillies' best starting pitcher in this second half. 10-9 overall, a 3.54 ERA, 1 strike to Hal Morris. Morris hitting .301, and here's a guy the Phillies just have trouble getting out. He's a lifetime .404 hitter against Phillies pitching. Just missing 1 and 1.
Those have caught Cincinnati in both those games. They went ahead 5-4, and then the roof kind of caved in.
One ball and 2 strikes.
Hard to tell this early, but it looks like Danny Jackson really has good fastball today, which helps his other pitches.
Just missing. 2-2 the count to Morris. C.W. Ferringer of Manayunk, a birthday today, the lucky 13th. Fouls it out of play, and Ted Efall, who covers the Phils for WHWH Princeton and keeps memory lane Clayton's there, celebrating his 34th. Back to the screen, and still 2-2.
Robert and Kelly McKinley, an anniversary today.
Slider just missed. Boy, he is close to the corners.
He's not getting anything borderline on the calls. Davey Johnson's had a good series here.
Had him backing away from a slider that came back on the inside part of the plate. A good pitch. Strikeout number 1 for Jackson. 2 down here in the first. Here it is.
Great pitch. It just locked Morris. He knew it.
They'll bring on Thomas Howard. He's hitting at .320, the switch hitter, batting right here against Jackson. Got him from the Cleveland Indians in the Randy Milligan deal. 1 ball and no strikes. Send along our best wishes for good health and a speedy recovery to Gene Duffy in Newcastle, Delaware, from his loving son Kevin, and from us. Ground ball shortstop off the glove of Stocker. And Howard is safe. Stocker tried to short hop and couldn't make the short hop play. Probably will be an error. It is an error on Kevin Stocker.
An in-between bounce. You can usually make this play on AstroTurf, but didn't get enough leather on it.
When the turf is hot, too, as it is now, that ball really bounces up high instead of staying down. Batter is Chris Sabo. He's hitting at .265. Slider on the inside corner.
Michael Albright here today and celebrating a birthday. His favorite player is John Kruk.
Another fan who loves the Crucker is Joe Davidoff of Quakertown, celebrating number 67 today. Crucker getting a day off today. Ricky Jordan at first.
Marianne Mercer, a birthday. Collingswood. Sable right back there in the back line.
Fastball. 0-2 to Chris Sabo.
4 generations of Mercers attending the game here today. Sellout crowd on Jacket Day.
Backdoor breaking ball missed. 1-2. Sean Dever, great Phillies fan, celebrating a birthday today, as is Mark Thompson, Moorestown, New Jersey. His favorite player, Kevin Stocker. Just missing, a little bit wide again. 2-2.
Hey, Swider is 80 today. South Jersey.
Fouls it back and out of play. Still 2-2 to Chris Sabo. At Pocono, Joe Gillespie celebrated his 71st yesterday. A little bit wide. It's a full count. Howard will be taking off from first base with 2 outs. of a delayed call by Winters, but Sabo is rung up, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, one error, one left. After 1/2, Cincinnati nothing. Phil's coming to bat.
The Phillies will be loaded for bear when they play Sandberg and the Cubs Monday, September 6th at 7:05. And Tuesday through Thursday, September 7th, 8th, and 9th, all at 7:35. Then they'll try to send the Astros into space Friday, September 10th at 7:35. Saturday the 11th at 7:05. And Sunday the 12th at 1:35 when kids 14 and under get a free backpack. Call 463-1000.
Looking for a great car at a great price? Well, your local Nissan dealers are having one of their biggest sales events of the year.
I was in the right place, and it must have been the right time.
Choose from a great selection of Nissan Altimas, the best-selling new car nameplate introduced this year. And it's very affordable. Right now, you can lease an Altima XE for only $1,000 down and just $199 a month. Your local Nissan dealer, it's the right place at the right time.
I was in the right place, and it must have been the right time.
You're watching Philadelphia's movie station, PHL 17. Jim Fragosi's lineup this afternoon has Lenny Dykstra, center fielder, leading off. Mickey Morandini, second base, bats second. Ricky Jordan, first base, hitting third. Dave Hollins, third baseman, bats fourth. Pete Incaviglia, left fielder, hitting fifth. Wes Chamberlain, right field, bats sixth. Todd Pratt, catching, hitting seventh. Kevin Stocker, the shortstop, bats eighth. And Danny Jackson pitching and hitting ninth. They are facing Tim Pugh.
Sinker ball, slider baller, Tim Pugh. Not a great ERA of 5.18. He walks about 3 a ball game, strikes out close to 5 a game. A lot of rookies on this Cincinnati club.
Defensively behind Pugh, it's Chris Sabo at third, Jeff Branson at shortstop, Juan Samuel at second, and Hal Morris at first. Brian Dorsett doing the catching. In the outfield, Thomas Howard in left, Jacob Brumfield in center, and Tim Costo in right. Lenny Dykstra leads it off. Dude hitting at 297. Leads the league in runs with 115 and walks with 105. Pugh is a 26-year-old from Bartlesville, Oklahoma. Went to Oklahoma State. And Dykstra tops it softly toward short. Branson throws him out. 1 out on 1 pitch here in the bottom of the first. Jane Brasco Kelly, daughter of security guard George Brasco, celebrating a birthday today.
Send our best along to the great Biz, who is leaving the hospital today, and hope to see Biz Bring back here at the ballpark soon, down at the courtesy pass gate.
Miss Biz around the ballpark, and all of us here at the park send along our very best. Mickey Morandini hitting at 230. On the inside corner for a strike. Birthday to Al Guarante from media, from his mom Anna Mae in Summers Point, and from us. Hit pretty well to center field, but Brumfield gets back there and makes the grab right in front of the fence. The more we see of Jacob Brumfield, we see him a lot at spring training, Whitey. Hardly ever see him during the regular season because of injuries. He's getting a chance to play, but he can go get him in the outfield.
Yeah, that ball had good carry. He was fighting the sun also. The sun's right above him.
That'll bring on Ricky Jordan. Ricky hitting at 273. Breaking ball for a strike. Belated birthday wishes to Ed Mellon in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, from wife Coralie and from us. Slams that ball in the hole to left field for a hit. Howard gets it back into the infield, and Jordan is a 2-out base runner for Dave Hollins.
Ricky smoked this sinker ball. This is a Sunday lineup that is done pretty well. Jordan and Todd Pratt. A lot of players getting a rest today.
Last left-hand starter the Phillies saw was 2 weeks ago today when Eric Hillman pitched for the Mets. Get no left-handers in the series at Wrigley Field. Reds don't have a left-hand starter, so it'll be at least another week plus before the Phillies see another left-hand starting pitcher. In the Cubs series, perhaps Hibbert will pitch one of the games when the Phillies return to Veterans Stadium.
Well, you would think that the Phillies lineup, predominantly left-handed, would just wear out right-hand pitchers, but that's all they're seeing.
3-0 to Dave Hollins. Pete Incaviglia waits on deck.
Belated birthday, Florence Nanny Duffy in Southwest Philadelphia. 85th birthday.
Light here for Dave?
Nope.
High ball 4, walked him on 4 pitches, and the Phillies have 2 men on base, 2 outs for the hot-hitting Pete Incaviglia. Incaviglia's 7-game hitting streak, hitting .571 in the last 7. He leads the Phils in homers with 23 and has knocked in 77.
He only has 84 hits and 77 RBIs. Quite a ratio. And you know, he went almost a month around the All-Star break where he didn't do much. So he's packed a lot of hitting in a short period of time, really.
On the inside quarter, 1 strike. Joe Bowman of Upper Darby, Pennsylvania, 76 today. Birthday wishes from grandson Ron Bowman. And from us,
Harry King in Pennsauken, New Jersey, is 70.
Just missed inside, 1-1. Joseph Ackle of Frackville, Pennsylvania, is 84. Wishes from son-in-law Walter, daughter Georgine, and grandchildren Janelle and Matt. Celebrated yesterday. Did Joseph? A little bit low. It's 2-1.
Jack McGovern of Ocean City here today, celebrating his 73rd birthday with his 2 grandsons.
Pops 1 foul behind the Phillies dugout. It'll be out of play, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Gregory and Anna Foggish of Pennsauken, New Jersey, celebrating their 57th wedding anniversary from daughter and son-in-law Jim and Pat Greco of Thoroughfare.
And John Abrams, 79 today, in Maple Shade, New Jersey.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Incaviglia with 2 men on base and 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. 0-0. Tim Pugh was a 6th-round pick by the Reds in the June '89 draft. Ground ball deep short. It gets by Branson, and here comes Jordan. He'll score, and the Phillies lead it 1-0. It'll be an RBI single for Incaviglia, but Branson should have kept that ball in the infield.
I think, Harry, when you mentioned earlier, when this turf is hot, the ball almost explodes off the turf, and I think it kind of affected Branson here. He's played a good shortstop. Couldn't quite get leather on the ball.
Now the Phils have taken a 1-0 lead, and that'll bring on Wes Chamberlain. Chamberlain hitting at .282. Great Christopher Michael Devine celebrating his 3rd birthday today. Watching at home with Mom and Dad. 1 strike to Wes Chamberlain.
Jeff Bauer celebrating on this Sunday, August 29th. Nice note from his wife, Linda.
Chasing a bad pitch. Incaviglia's RBI was his 78th on 85 hits. Pretty good production for the Inkman. No balls and 2 strikes to West Chamberlain.
This is Chase. 2 bad pitches.
Wasn't going to chase that one.
Couldn't reach
you
it.
Thought he might. Not that far outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. He fists it, just foul down the right field line, foul by about a foot. He really got jammed and fisted it, but foul. Hounds back to second, and Incaviglia back to first.
Michael Brody in Lansdale celebrating a birthday today. A lot of folks born on this day, Harry.
The great Cal Rudman and Mike Gaffredo and 25 youngsters from the Police Athletic League. Guests of Cal Rudman are here today celebrating the 25th anniversary of Cal's publication, Friday Morning Quarterback. Just a little bit wide. It's 2-2.
Bernie Snyder is 80 today. Bernie played some Major League ball at shortstop with the Philadelphia Athletics, and Morris Silikovitz in Philadelphia is 80 today also.
Officer Brendan Lee is with Mike Gaffredo and Cal Rudman here. The 25 Pal kids here at the ballpark.
Harry Gresh in Colebrookdale, PA, 85, and Joan Augustine in Berlin, a birthday.
2 balls and 2 strikes to West Chamberlain with 2 men on base and 2 outs and a run in. One nothing Phils. We're in the bottom of the first before a sold-out house here at Veterans Stadium. There's a hit to right center field. Hollins will score. Incaviglia to third. And the Phillies lead it 2-0 on the RBI single by West Chamberlain.
Boy, what a nice at-bat by Chamberlain after chasing a couple of bad pitches. Really guarded the plate very well. Stung that ball past the second baseman. It's that sinker ball, kind of an inside-out swing, as you can see, but got pretty good wood on it. Inside, that's really inside out.
Brings on Todd Pratt. Pratt hitting at .304. Pratt has a lusty .389 batting average with runners in scoring position. Phillies have jumped on Pugh for 2 first-inning runs here. Missing inside, 1-0. Send along our best for a speedy recovery to Sterling Harold in the University of Pennsylvania Hospital. Breaking ball just missed. It's 2-0. TJ Latore and Ed Wisniewski birthdays today. Jeffrey Iakabachi a birthday today. Beaten foul, 2 balls and a strike to Pratt. Pratt, with Dalton being such a horse behind the plate, rarely gets a chance to play, but when he does, he's taking advantage of it. He's done a good job.
I want to thank Charles Drack, I believe it is, in Trenton. Made me a little baseball player out of, looks like copper tubing.
Dutch and Crucker in the Phillies dugout, getting the day off today. Incaviglia third, Chamberlain at first with 2 outs and 2 runs in. 2-2 to Pratt, who thought it might have been a little low. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I tell you, this big guy, Tim Pugh, has pretty good stuff. Sinker ball, he throws it hard. Like a decent slider.
Grounded foul. Well, numbers wouldn't indicate that. 8-12 with a 5.18 ERA and 139 innings. He's given up 170 hits. It's a lot of hits per innings pitched.
You know, a lot of these young pitchers have good arms, but they don't know how to pitch yet.
Time call by Todd Pratt. Earl Manny a birthday today. Kevin Greavy a birthday. Bills lead 2-0. We are in the bottom of the first. Runners at first and third and 2 outs. Beats the ball foul. Pratt stays alive at 2-2. Bills will be moving from here to Wrigley Field, a 3-game series with the Cubs, and on to Cincinnati, 3 for the Reds with the Reds in their backyard. Back home here a week from tomorrow night against those Cubbies. Got jammed and he pops the foul back and out of play.
Pratt keeps fighting those pitches off. They're most of them inside a little bit, but been sliders too close to take.
Struck him out. That'll retire the side, but the Phils put 2 on the board. They do it with 3 hits. No errors, 2 men left. After 1, 2-0 Phils.
It's often taken for granted, yet it's as precious as the very air we breathe. It's called freedom. And it's what inspired Independence Blue Cross and Pennsylvania Blue Shield to create the new Personal Choice, a health plan that offers people the low costs of an HMO without asking them to give up what they value most, their freedom. Personal Choice, the health plan that controls costs, not people.
This Dodge Dakota Sport comes with the Magnum V6, automatic, rear anti-lock brakes, and a price under $11,500. Cutting your choice of trucks down to 1. Dodge. So don't miss the 93 model clearance now at your nearest Dodge dealer. Now save up to $13.57 on Dodge Caravans, including air conditioning at no extra charge. So cut yourself in for great savings at the 93 model clearance now at your nearest Dodge dealer.
Now, reports of the legendary two-footed object have been growing.
Anything? Nothing.
Must be big. Even Chet's seen it.
We're getting something.
Coming over the hill, Sarge.
Hit the light, boy!
Bigfoot!
Bigfoot Pizza, the legendary value from Pizza Hut, with 2 square feet and a tasty new crust you can't get anywhere else, all for $10.99.
Okay, folks, let's break it up.
Bigfoot Pizza, the biggest pizza you can get delivered.
After 1 inning of play, it's the Phils 2 and Cincinnati 0. Upcoming telecasts of Phillies baseball include the first 2 games of the Cubs series from Wrigley Field, Chicago. We're on the air at 8 tomorrow night and 3 o'clock Tuesday afternoon right here on PHL 17. Tim Costo, the Iowa Hawkeye, will lead it off for the Cincinnati Reds. Here in the second, Costo hitting at .212. 40th wedding anniversary wishes to Steve and Agnes Muka from their son Steve Jr. on the Phillies ground crew. Steve and Agnes, their 40th. Ground crew did a great job again last night after the hour rain delay, getting Field in playing shape once again. Good breaking ball by Danny Jackson. 1 strike to Costo. Just missing. 1-1. Emily Schmidt, a birthday today. 72nd birthday wishes to Mary Hartman. Good breaking ball, a ball and 2 strikes. Jackson has been right around the plate with all of his pitches here in the early going. Danny is among the league leaders in walks, but he's had good control thus far today. Past him, but Morandini backing up, gets Costo. Jackson normally will make that play, but he's swept and got nothing but air, and Mickey Morandini, a good backup, throws out Costo 1 down.
Yeah, it almost looked like it hit a piece of his glove. Maybe it didn't.
I think if he would have slowed it up, they wouldn't have gotten the out.
Costo doesn't run all that well.
Scored at just 4-3.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Phillies and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form without the express written consent of the Phillies. Here's Brian Dorsett. Dorsett got the game-winning hit on Friday night off Mitch Williams. He's a veteran receiver, 32 years of age, from Terre Haute, Indiana, went to Indiana State. Hitting .250 since being called up to the Reds. The glove of Dave Hollins, and Dorsett is at first base. What probably will be scored a hit. Oh no. Ooh. That's kind of a harsh error on Hollins. He had a long way to go to his left to get to that.
Hard to his left and just off the end of his glove. I'll bet they change that when they take another look at it.
Number 8, second baseman, Juan Samuel.
That'll bring on Juan Samuel. Samuel hitting at .216. 3 homers. He's knocked in 13. One ball and no strikes. With it, 3-0. On deck is Jeff Branson. Bills lead 2-0. We're in the second. Got a green light and he fouls it down the right field side, out of play. Three balls and a strike to Samuel. Another foul ball coming back and out of play. Full count to Samuel.
Twice Danny Jackson has thrown 3-2 sliders, and both times has picked up strikeouts. See if he does it again.
Dorsett at first base with one out. Runner breaking, and it's pop foul, back and out of play.
Threw the fastball, and it was a little high.
Got jammed with a slider and pops a foul out of play. It's still 3-2.
Pretty nice little piece of tubing here, copper tubing, Harry. Looks just like me. Got a hole in his head.
Foul back and out of play as Samuel continues to foul off the 3-2 pitches. Here's what a fan sent up to Whitey.
Got a left-hand hitter with a bat. Not quite my style with hitting, but
another foul. This one into the upper deck.
Had some great things.
Head does look a little empty.
Some great things. A guy by the name of Bill Bailey and his son sent me some things that these silver things that tinkle when the wind blows.
Chimes. Wind chimes, Whitey.
That's what they are. But they're made out of sterling silver, and they haven't had as much pleasure out of anything as I have those chimes.
Samuel called out on strikes, and that time Dorsett did not run. Third strikeout for Danny Jackson. All of them been called thirds, and here's Jeff Branson. Branson hitting at .263. The left-hand hitter is 3 for 3 lifetime against Danny Jackson.
Fella really hits the ball a lot to left field. Phillies are playing that way.
1 ball and 1 strike. There you see the outfield defense. Dykstra shading him to left center, and Incaviglia fairly tight to the line and left. Chamberlain well off the line and right. Good pitch. And Danny Jackson has had good command here in the early going. Both starting pitchers Friday and Saturday, Mulholland and Green, started slowly and then came on in the middle innings. Jackson is establishing himself early.
2 base runners, both errors.
Beats a foul at home plate. It's still 2-2. Two balls and 2 strikes to Jeff Branson. Cincinnati, the only team Danny Jackson has not beaten in his major league career. He's 0-1 lifetime against the Reds. Of course, his best year was with the Reds when
he beat everybody else.
Yeah, he was the runner-up for the Cy Young Award that year, and had not Orel Hershiser put on that string of consecutive scoreless innings, shutout frames, Jackson probably would have been the Cy Young. Back through the middle, a base hit center field for Branson. So Branson really hangs in against Jackson. He's now 4 for 4 lifetime off him. 2 men on base with 2 outs.
He slapped this ball right back through the middle. That's not a bad pitch either. Branson had given a little ground. Reached out and slapped it.
With Cincinnati in '88, Danny Jackson led the league in wins 23. 2.73 ERA. Led the league in complete games with 15. Had 6 shutouts. He was really a horse. Tim Pugh hits it to Stocker. Ooh, just about a wide throw to Morandini, but Mickey makes the grab and holds the bag to retire the side. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error, 2 left. We go to the bottom of the second, 2-0 Phils.
Darren Dalton and the Phillies blow into the Windy City to take on Ryne Sandberg and the Chicago Cubs tomorrow on PHL 17. Wes Chamberlain and the Fightin' Phils will be out to tame the Cubbies in their own backyard. Catch all the action beginning tomorrow at 8 and then Tuesday at 3:20, following a special edition of the pregame show at 3, only on PHL 17.
We play the Phillies on 17.
Phil's Cubs tomorrow at 8.
people. Man, are they different. In Germany, they don't like what they like in France. And in England, they don't like what they like in Germany. In Spain, they run in front of bulls. In Greece, they smash plates. Italians speak the same language 40 different ways. And the French love Jerry Lewis. Nobody likes the same thing. But how come everybody loves Volkswagen? Germany, France, England, Sweden, Japan, Finland. The new Golf is the best-selling car in the world. The new Jetta? The first German road car people can afford. Do these people know something that we don't? Well, I'm no expert, but it seems to me, people who want quality, safety, people who want excitement, all find it in a Volkswagen. Hey, maybe people aren't that different after all. The new Volkswagens, the most loved cars in the world.
It's a free back-to-school backpack, compliments of Campbell's Soup, when the Phillies play the Houston Astros Sunday, September 12th at 1:35. Backpack, baseball, and the Broad Street Bombers. All right. Call 463-1000 now.
Well, Sunday, September 12th, when the Phillies take on the Houston Astros, we have a great back-to-school gift for all fans 14 and under. A red backpack with the Phillies logo. What a way to show your Phillies colors at school. Compliments of Campbell's Soups. For tickets, call 463-1000. That's September 12th. Backpacks for all youngsters 14 and under, the Bills and the Astros. 463-1000 number. Call for tickets or stop by any one of the many local Ticketmaster outlets. Kevin Stocker leads off for the Phils. Looks at a strike. Stocker hitting at .357. Birthday wishes to Jim Robinson from Pleasantville, New Jersey, from wife Sue and from us. Wide for a ball, 1-1. 1 ball and 1 strike to Kevin Stocker. See his average batting right-handed, a lusty .452. Down and in, it's 2-1. Among those watching us today, Whitey, is the man, Mr. S. Frank Sinatra, with his security pals Merrill Kellum and Bob Pombiero in Atlantic City. Mr. S is concluding a 5-show sellout appearance in Atlantic City. Tonight will be the final night. Full count. He's become a Phillies fan now that the Dodgers are out of it.
Yeah, well, he's the greatest is all.
Yep.
I saw him the last time he was down at the shore.
That's well struck to right center field, but Costo has a bead on it and makes the catch right in front of the warning track. 76ers #1 draft pick Sean Bradley in attendance today.
7'6". Looks like a kid, which he still is. Talking to Freddie Carter about him a couple of weeks ago, and they have big plans for Sean Bradley.
Danny Jackson loops it into center for a base hit. So Jackson singles to center field. He's a one-out base runner for Lenny Dykstra.
Danny didn't get much of it, but enough of it to get it over the infield.
One of the reasons the rotation was changed and Ben Rivera not pitching in this series, Danny Jackson's 7-year-old son has to undergo surgery on Tuesday. Nothing real critical, but nonetheless surgery for the 7-year-old. So Danny's going to be home Chicago series while his son goes through that surgery. 1 ball and no strikes to Lenny Dykstra. Gentle Ben will get a start in Chicago on Tuesday afternoon. Phillies will send against the Cubs Kurt Schilling. Ben Rivera. And Terry Mulholland in a 3-game set at Chicago. Two balls and no strikes to the dude.
Cubs are tough to beat in Wrigley Field. Well, they play some good baseball there.
Yeah. It'll be a difficult series. Phillies again. We'll see 3 right-hand starting pitchers at Wrigley Field. Frank Castillo, Mike Morgan, and Mike Harkey. Taking the day off. His brother was involved in that trade that took Jim Deshaies to San Francisco. Duncan's younger brother going to Minnesota from the Giants organization. Andres Duncan. Three and 1 the count to Lenny Dykstra. Dykstra thought it was ball 4.
A lot of doubles. 37 for Lenny.
Third in the league in that department. Runner going. It's low, ball 4. Dykstra walks for the 106th time this year. Leads the league in that department. And it will bring on Mickey Morandini, who flied to deep right center his first time up. Bills lead it 2-0 here in the second. He hits that ball a long ways to right center field, and it is off the base of the fence. It kicks away from Brumfield. 2 runs will score. Morandini at third with a triple. Number 8 for Mickey. And the Phils now lead it 4-0 here in the second.
Brumfield covers a lot of ground out there. He couldn't catch up to that one. This hit off the fence. Like a straight change-up, some kind of an off-speed pitch, and Mickey's hit 2 balls very well. Hit off the bottom, bounced away from Brumfield. And the Reds now will bring their infield in. A big hit for the Phillies, that 2-run triple.
Morandini's 8th triple of the year. He's among the league leaders, and Jordan chases a low breaking ball. Ricky singled his first time up. Looped into shallow right center. That finds open spaces. A base hit. Morandini scores. And the Phillies now lead at 5-0 here in the second.
Ricky was
Scott Service up in the bullpen.
Really jammed on that pitch, and with the infield in, nobody had a chance to catch it. Wasn't hit very far. That ball right off the trademark.
Well, with the infield in, no chance for anybody to catch the ball. Don Gullett, the pitching coach, out to talk to Tim Pugh, who has been roughed around here. The Phillies have 5 runs and 6 hits. We're in the second inning. Phillies really do score runs, leading the league in runs scored by plenty. Phillies have scored 712 runs this year. No other team is close to 700.
Ray Knight talking it over with Davey Johnson.
Brings on Dave Hollins. He walked and scored a run his first time up. He's among the league leaders in runs scored. He's scored 81 runs now. One ball and one strike. Atlanta has a 4-1 lead over the Cubs in the 5th inning. David Justice has hit a 2-run home run.
They're 4 back of San Francisco.
That's a base hit for Hollins as he reaches out and plucks a single to right field, and the Phillies with 2 men on base, still just 1 out. That out was a deep fly ball by Kevin Stocker. And here comes Davey Johnson, and this will be it for Pugh. So we have a pitching change for the Reds as Tim Pugh is going to be coming out, and Scott Service, the ex-Phil, will come on. The winning pitcher in last night's game when he recorded just 1 out to get the win prior to a 5-run 6th inning by the Reds. Pitching change for Cincinnati. It's 5-0 Phillies. We're in the bottom of the 2nd. Back after these messages.
It's often taken for granted, yet it's as precious as the very air we breathe. It's called freedom. And it's what inspired Independence Blue Cross and Pennsylvania Blue Shield to create the new Personal Choice, a health plan that offers people the low costs of an HMO without asking them to give up what they value most, their freedom. Personal Choice, the health plan that controls costs, not people.
If you've got a group of 25 or more, we'll give you a great time at a Phillies game. For all the details about a special package for your group at a Phillies game, call 463-5000.
We're in the 2nd inning, and the Phillies lead the Reds 5-0. Travel arranged through U.S. Air with daily nonstop service to Los Angeles, San Francisco, San Diego, and Seattle. To the West Coast, U.S. Air begins with you. Scott Service has done a nice job for the Reds since being called up. He's won 2, lost none, a 3.16 ERA. One of his wins coming in last night's game. He's pitched 31 in the 3rd innings, 30 hits and 11 earned runs. Struck out 30 while walking 6. Service at Indianapolis, AAA level, was 4 and 2 saves and a 4.45 ERA. Formerly a draft pick of the Phillies. Scott Service taking his warm-up tosses, and Pete Incaviglia will be the first one to face him. Service is 26 years old, big guy, 6'6", 235. Makes his home in Cincinnati. Signed as a free agent by the Phils in '85. Became a 6-year minor league free agent. Went to Montreal. There you see Incaviglia's numbers in this series. Did not play in the first game. He singled to drive in a run his first time up. 1 ball and no strikes to Incaviglia. Phillies on top 5-0 here in the 2nd inning. Still only 1 out, 2 men on base. And a cut, fouled it back, 1-1.
Boy, that's a great swing by a long ball hitter. It's kind of short, very quick. He's cut down on his swing since he joined the Phillies. Dennis Minke's been working with him on that, and I think it's paid off. Getting quite a few hits to center field and slings one to right. He hit a right field home run here last night.
Hit 2 homers last night, one to right and one to dead center. So it's not just pulling the ball for Inky's home runs all the time. He has hit him to the opposite field. He's hit him to center. He has 23, leads the club in that department, one ahead of Darren Dalton. He balls in 2 strikes to Incaviglia.
Chased a high pitch there. That's pretty good average with runners in scoring position.
Ooh, he had a cut. Fouled it back, 2-2. Scott Service with a different baseball. Struck him out. 4 out, number 2 in the inning. And it will bring up Wes Chamberlain, who's singled to drive in a run his first time up.
Threw that ball, fastball right by Inky, up a little bit.
Here's Chamberlain. Jordan at second, Hollins at first, and 2 outs. On the outside corner at the knees for a called strike. Wes not happy with that call. That was supposedly on the inside corner. He looks at Mike Winters in disbelief.
It was also low. It was almost on the ground.
Getting some heat from the Phillies dugout, and now Jim Fregosi is going to tell his troops to.
Wes couldn't believe that call. Thought maybe he heard wrong. Well, look at this pitch. No wonder, huh?
Yeah. Puts him in the hole, 0-2.
First time in this series, though, that anybody's given an umpire a hard time. This is Bruce Fremming's crew, and it's excellent.
1 ball and 2 strikes.
Rookie umpire at first, Brian Gorman, son of a former National League umpire Tom Gorman. He's a great rookie umpire.
Yes, he is. Very good.
But we haven't seen him much behind the dish.
Wes pops it off the end of his bat to Chris Sabo. And that'll retire the side, but the Phillies put 3 more on the board in the inning. They do it with 4 hits, no errors, 2 left. After 2, 5-0 Phils.
clearance time is on at your Hyundai dealer. And up to $2,000 factory cash back makes it the best time of the year to buy the Hyundai of your choice. Right now, you can get into a sleek new Elantra for as low as $86.49. Plus, you don't have to make a down payment. No money down. And that's not all, because you'll get 2 years of scheduled service at no charge. So for big savings, no down payment, and no cost scheduled service, get into your Hyundai dealer today. Hurry in for the best selection during summer clearance time. Ends Labor Day.
No. Give me the remote. Wait, check out this new commercial. It's got Harold Miner and Dan Marley. And they are? You Nimrod. You've seen these guys before. That's Baby Jordan. And that's Thunder Dan.
Yeah, settle down, bonehead. I know who they are.
Go back, I want to see what they're wearing.
That's the same stuff we just got at Champs, only they get it all free.
Then why are we watching this?
We're not.
Nike, now playing at Champ Sports. Get the real stuff first.
Who's this guy?
You'll get a great-looking Phillies poster free, compliments of Acme, plus plenty of fun surprises when the Phillies play the Braves on Fan Appreciation Day, Sunday, September 26th at 1:35. Reserve your tickets now. Call 463-1000.
Our trivia question of the afternoon is brought to you by Roy Rogers, that one-of-a-kind place with that one-of-a-kind taste. Since 1950, who are the top 2 pitchers in winning percentage who have at least 100 victories in their careers? Jacob Brumfield slams it to left, but caught by Incaviglia. 1 down. That'll bring on Hal Morris.
That's the best ball hit off Danny Jackson. Smoked it.
Morris was called out on strikes his first time up. Fouls that one back and out of play. 1 strike to Hal Morris. Phils lead 5-0. About hit the Reds 7-1. Boy, this guy just continues to hit Phillies pitching. Doesn't matter who it is. Morris gets his hits against the Phils. Better than a 400 hitter lifetime. He's into second with a stand-up double. He's a good hitter.
Yeah, he's just a flat-out good hitter. His stats proving that. Got the fastball. Got the good part of the bat on the ball, even though he was cramped a little on that swing. Good wood on it.
Coming into this season, a lifetime .304 hitter in the major leagues. One ball and no strikes to Thomas Howard.
This guy's a much better left-hand hitter than right-hand hitter. He hit a 3-run homer last night, left-handed.
Fouls it back 1-1. Howard
hitting 143 right-handed and 320 left-handed. Our old buddy Jose Cardinal out there, first base coach for Cincinnati.
Good man, Jose.
He's a good ball player.
Chops the ball. Stocker gets Howard. Moving up to third is Morris. That's 2 down, and that'll bring on Chris Sabo. Pandemonium, a weirdly wonderful way to enjoy the Phils and the Enquirer. Look in tomorrow's Enquirer for all the details to enjoy these wonderful games, plus all the Enquirer's special updated sports reporting on these fighting Phils. 1 ball and no strikes to Sabo. Sabo, the opening day third baseman for the Reds. For the 6th consecutive season, only 1 player in Cincinnati history has opened at third more than 6 seasons, and that would be
Grady Hatton.
You got it, buddy. Grady Hatton. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-2. He's high with it. It's 2-2. Cleveland giving the Yankees a hard time. They lead him again 4-2 in the 3rd inning at Cleveland. Cleveland really scores runs. Pride. Fouls off the slider.
Cleveland doesn't have enough pitching.
No.
And once in a while, they go into team slumps. They've been shut out quite a few times.
Just missing. Full count to Sabo. Sabo gets the walk. The first issued by Danny Jackson. It'll bring on Tim Costo. Cleveland's 3rd in the American League in runs scored. Detroit leads that league. Detroit leads the majors in runs scored. Bouncing ball. Hollins. 2 more and Dini, and that will retire the side. Nothing across for the Reds. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. 5-0 Phillies.
When my doctor said to start exercising, I knew I wasn't 25 anymore. But that's when I called Bill, my nationwide insurance agent.
Jim had some questions, so we did a nationwide care review. We talked about his financial plan, life insurance, disability coverage, even retirement.
And we covered everything.
It turns out Jim was okay just the way he was.
Insurance-wise, right?
Oh, right.
The care review from Nationwide, because things change.
Nationwide is on your side.
What if someone were to design a car about the size of a Ford Taurus outside, but with more room for people than Taurus or Toyota Camry inside? Someone did. What if someone were to design a car with safety features Taurus and Camry don't give you, like both driver and passenger side airbags standard, or an available integrated child safety seat? Someone did. And what if a prestigious magazine were to name this car Automobile of the Year? One of them did. Dodge Intrepid. This changes everything.
It looks like the coach is really mad now.
Look at you. You're dull. You're rusty. I've seen you outperformed in the rain, the snow. You haven't had one good season yet. It's going to be different. You're going to get tough. Rust tough. You know why? Because Rust Tough has a unique fast-drying formula with rust inhibitors that form a tough, hard-nosed defense against rust. Look at you now. You're tough. You're going to shine.
No runs, no drips, no...
Got rust? Get tough. Rust Tough.
Today's Phillies game on PHL 17 is brought to you in part by Budweiser. Fresh, pure, natural, proud to be your Bud. By your local Hyundai dealer. Hyundai, cars that make sense. And by Pizza Hut. Call Pizza Hut Delivery now and have your pizza by the 6th inning. Bottom of the 3rd, Todd Pratt leads off for the Phils. Struck out his first time up. Our trivia question of the afternoon brought to you by Roy Rogers. That one-of-a-kind place with that one-of-a-kind taste. Since 1950, who are the top 2 pitchers in winning percentage with at least 100 or more victories?
One has to be Whitey Ford.
That would be correct. Whitey Ford of those New York Yankees had a winning percentage of .690. 16 years, 236 and 106. The other one was a National League pitcher for most of his career. He is in the park today.
In the park today, that would have to be that Don Gullett.
That is correct, Whitey. 9 years, he won 109 and lost 50 for a 683 winning percentage. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Todd Pratt.
Oh, what a nice pitcher he was.
Yeah, Gullett.
Great arm.
Yep.
Pitched against the Yankees in that World Series when the Reds beat him 4 in a row.
One ball and 2 strikes. Into center field, Brumfield there. He'll take care of it for out number 1. It'll bring up Kevin Stocker, who flied to deep right his first time up.
There's also a guy in the park today who held the record for a while. The only player to ever hit 2 Grand Slam pinch hit home runs.
Is in the park today, you say?
In the park today.
Pinch hit home run.
One of them was for the Phillies.
Jose Cardinal.
Great guess, incorrect.
Dave B. Johnson.
That would be correct. Now, who was the guy who came along a couple months later and tied him? Formerly with the San Diego Padres.
Downtown Ollie Brown.
Nope. This was a guy that had a...
Nate Colbert.
Not Nate. This was a guy that had a personality problem.
No, that doesn't narrow it.
I could cover a lot of them.
One ball and 2 strikes to Stocker.
How about Mike Ivy? Remember Mike?
Ivy, yeah, sure do. I remember him more with the Giants than anybody else. Stocker's out of there, 2 down. That'll bring on Danny Jackson. He's singled and scored a run his first time up. The Scott Servison's coming in for Tim Pugh, has retired all 4 that he has faced.
Faced one batter last night, threw 1 pitch, and wound up getting the win. Or was that the first game?
No, that was last night. Braves have extended their lead over the Cubs to 7-2. Braves coming in 4 games behind San Francisco. The Giants will be playing later against Florida. Afternoon. Danny Jackson singled and was on the bases and scored a run his first time up. With 2 outs and no base runners here, I don't think he's going to really concentrate on getting a hit. Got Dykstra leading off the next inning, which is what you want. And I don't think Danny wants on this hot day to be on the base paths all day. Got a piece of it, though, 2-2. Bills leading 5-0. We're in the bottom of the 3rd. Struck him out to retire the side. Second strikeout for Service. No runs, hits, errors, none left. Chris Wheeler and Andy Musser come your way in the 4th after 3 5-0 Phillies.
It's a round world, genuine and true. It keeps on spinning.
No? How can you recognize the genuine Yellow Pages?
It has a yellow cover.
Good.
It says Bell of Pennsylvania on the front.
Right.
It has more choices inside.
Yes! That's how you tell the genuine article from mere imitators. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
The genuine Bell of Pennsylvania Yellow Pages. 9 out of 10 use it. No other book can match it. A Bell Atlantic Company.
The Cadillac Eldorado has the performance answers to make driving enjoyable. A 200 horsepower V8, an electronically controlled transmission, and a speed-sensitive suspension. Eldorado also has the financial answers, because now you can lease a 1993 Eldorado for 24 months for only $469 a month with $21.93 down. And with terms like these, they're sure to go fast.
Phillies are back on Labor Day, a 4-game series with the Chicago Cubs. It starts at 7:05 September 6th. And then the Astros are in for the weekend starting Friday the 10th. And don't forget, Sunday the 12th is Backpack Day here at the ballpark. Make your plans and order your tickets by calling 463-1000. Now we're in the 4th inning with the Phillies up 5-0. Dorsett leads it off for Cincinnati, safe on an error first time up. And a tough error at that, charge to Dave Hollins, who had to range to his left to pick up a fairly sharply hit ball. Fly ball down the right field line. Play for Chamberlain. Gets there. Chamberlain catches the ball in fair territory, on the run for the out.
Good play by Wes. Eisenreich makes this play so well. He didn't need his sunglasses. So you can see they're still flipped up, and catches it just before he goes into foul territory.
One away, Juan Samuel coming to the plate. Juan was called out on strikes when he batted in the 2nd inning. Danny Jackson with 3 strikeouts today, and they are all caught-looking strikeouts. Samuel, ex-Philly, who, when he was here, most of the time batted up in the order. And since he was here, Juan's moved around quite a bit, to the Mets, to the Dodgers, to Kansas City, and now Cincinnati. Right in on him, and that's a fair ball caught by Jordan. Samuel never saw it. He was on the seat of his pants.
Oh, Danny Jackson will pitch inside, especially when he's pitching well the way he has for the last month. So he had a 2-0 count on Samuel, who's looking for anything away, and he just busted him in.
Watch what Samuel does here.
He just tries to get out of the way on a check swing, hits a line drive, a little humpback liner to Jordan.
Most of the time when you see that, they go foul. Here's Branson. Jackson works him in. Branson got a base hit off the mound back into center field, his first at bat. And a tough out for the Phillies. 8 for 22 off Phil's pitching.
This guy's a good utility player who's been forced into a starting role with Bip Roberts and Larkin hurt. Good little hitter who can play short second. They might even be able to put him at third if they really needed him there.
Pop up over toward the Reds dugout, out of play. And you know, Wheels, the Reds may need a third baseman because Sabo's on his option free agency year, I should say. He's eligible for it at the end of the season.
They're going to have a lot of decisions to make after this season's over because of the economics of their ball club and who they think can play and can't in this injury-riddled season they've had.
Just talking to various people around here this weekend, it seems as though it's unlikely that Bip Roberts will be invited back. He also is a free agent.
Well, they found out, and most teams find out about Bip Roberts when he's around for a while, is you don't want him because he's hurt all the time. Has a lot of talent, and he looks good on paper, but rarely produces for very long.
Low and in, 2 balls and 2 strikes on Branson.
It's one thing they did with this ball club, Lee Thomas and Jim Fregosi, is they put together a ball club of guys that play and play hurt.
Jammed him in a foul back out of play. Yeah, you know, that's a good point because there's nobody on the Phillies team that that's out of the lineup frequently.
Yeah,
and everybody that is, by circumstances. For example, Morandini wants to get in there.
Yeah, and if they have if they get a major injury, heaven forbid, that's different. But there's a lot of those little nagging injuries, and this bunch, I mean, they want to play all the time. They're having that kind of year.
2-2 to Branson. Incidentally, Scott Service is in the on-deck circle because the Reds got into their bullpen early today. They're going to need some innings out of this relief pitcher. So even though they're trailing 5-0, it's not a spot for a potential pinch hitter. Got him. Jackson gets his 4th strikeout on the first one swinging. Down go the Reds in order in the 4th inning. We move to the bottom half. It's 5-0 Phillies.
On the next Time Tracks,
A deaf boy appears to be lost in the heart of the Colorado Rockies.
Darian risks his life.
I came to help you find your son.
To save a fugitive son.
Hold it.
But his mission of mercy.
How close are we?
Less than 1 mile.
Becomes a fight for his own survival.
I'm losing it.
On the next
We're going in.
Time Tracks.
Wednesday at 8 on PHL 17.
Upon completing the rear axle assembly diagram set using a 9-inch gripping wrench, tighten the C diagram set to secure the frame extenders to the housing mount. Congratulations, you built a tricycle. While the simplest things can be made complex, the challenge is making the complex simple. But that's what we do at Bell Atlantic Mobile, with straight answers, clear explanations, and with no assembly required. Bell Atlantic Mobile, advanced technology and people who make it mean something.
Ford dealers know some problems can't be diagnosed in the shop, so they have a unique traveling companion, the Portable Vehicle Analyzer. It records engine data in ways no human eyes and ears can. Then it tells us what's wrong, so it can be serviced right, the first time. Quality care, where the quality continues.
For quality service or to test drive one of the best-selling cars and trucks in America, see your local Quality Plus Ford dealer today.
Good afternoon. I'm Neil Hartman with a sports break in the American League this afternoon. They're just about to get underway in Arlington, Texas, between the O's and the Rangers. Mo Vaughn, 21st home run in the 2nd inning. Boston's taking a 1-0 lead on Kansas City. 2-0 California over Milwaukee in the 3rd. 7-2 Cleveland leads New York in the 4th. Detroit and Oakland at 4:05, as is Toronto and Seattle. The Blue Jays presently tied with the Yankees for first in the AL East. Minnesota, Chicago is 8:05 tonight. It's 5-0 Phillies lead. We go to the bottom of the 4th at a sold-out Veterans Stadium to Andy and Wheels.
All right, Neil, thank you. And leading off will be Lenny Dykstra. You heard Neil mention the fact that the White Sox are playing tonight in Chicago, and the Phillies are headed out that way, and many of the Phillies are anxious to see their ex-teammate Jose De Leon.
Yeah, they got a little get-together playing with Jose after the ball game tonight.
Dykstra has grounded to short and walked, scoring a run. Dykstra has not been crossing the plate quite as frequently lately. That's only his 3rd run in the last 7 ball games.
Jose, one of the more popular guys on this ball club, and a lot of people miss him around here. Bobby Thigpen has been doing a really good job, though, for the Phillies. And, he just had one of those games last night where he got lit up, but he has pitched very well since coming over from the Sox.
Service falls behind Lenny 3-0. Takes a strike. We'll pause here for station identification. The Phillies Television Network.
You're watching Phillies baseball on WPHL TV, Philadelphia.
5-0 Phillies and a 3-1 count on Dykstra. Outside corner, a strike. One thing about Lenny, though, he does not mind hitting 3-2. That's a good thing because he is in that situation a whole lot of times, maybe more than any other player in the league. Walked in. Lenny's 2nd walk of the day. First batter walked by Service.
He has such a good eye and such a good idea of the strike zone on the umpires. I mean, he'll hit off umpires a lot of times, too. And, that pitch was so close to being the exact same one that was called strike 2, and he took it again and got the walk out of it.
Mickey Morandini has the biggest blow of the ball game thus far. It was a 2-run triple in the 2nd inning. And he hit a gapper to left center his first time up, but that was run down by Brumfield, so he's 1 for 2.
Happy 50th anniversary today to John and Jenny Hack in Manioc.
Lenny trying to get loose over there. He has 34 stolen bases. Lenny's 6th in the league in steals. Strike.
I think he took a pitch then. I think he thought that Dykstra might run. Service has a fairly high leg kick to the plate, and he's a big tall guy, about 6'6", so you can run on him.
Reds are thinking, depending on the way things break down, but thinking of maybe bringing Service back as a starter next year. Right now their middle inning relief is so desperate for help. He's in this role, but they're thinking about him.
Well, Service has had a few shots for the Phillies and with Montreal.
1-1.
A quick pitch that time. He changed his delivery to the plate, and it got Dykstra. Lenny was starting to run. I think he saw that and then stopped. And it would have been a good pitch for Dorsett to throw on. Watch him start to go here. See, he looked like he was thinking about running then, and then Service quick pitch.
Chased him back, and the ball dropped by Morris.
Service doesn't have a good move, but what he does to compensate is vary. He'll move over fast. He'll hold the ball. He'll move quickly to the plate one time, slower the next time, and that's his way to try and confuse a base runner, and it can be very effective.
Lenny 1 foot on the cutout. Foul ball. So it's 1-2 now on Morandini.
Send best wishes along to Bill Hutton today. Got a message here that he's retiring from the Delmarva Power and Light Company after a long time there, 37 years. Big Phillies fan watching the game today, so enjoy your retirement and go tee him up.
Little shorter lead for Lenny. He's not going. Ball hit in the air to left. Going to be caught out there by Howard. And that's the first out of the inning as Morandini flies to Howard.
I think he's hit 3 balls in the air today, and that's not the way they necessarily want him to play. Of course, one was a triple off the base of the wall out there, but he's made pretty good contact. That kind of time he got jammed.
Jordan will be the batter. Well, the official 1993 Phillies gift and souvenir catalog, courtesy of Kellogg's, is available. The catalog features all your favorite Phillies items, including jackets, jerseys, T-shirts, caps, and more. You can get the catalog by calling the Phillies at 463-1000. It's free. Just ask for a Phillies souvenir and gift catalog. Unable to get back standing. Phillies ahead 5-0. Jordan, the batter, is 2 for 2 with 1 run batted in, 1 run scored.
Normally Kruk is in this spot, and Dykstra won't run as much because they try to keep the hole for him on the right side. Not so with Jordan, who's more of a pull hitter. Lenny really wants to go, and Service knows it, so he's paying a lot of attention to him.
Jordan not getting a whole lot of playing time, but look at that, 285. Leads the Phillies in pinch hits. He's been a very, very contributing player this year, even though it's been a limited role. Breaking ball for a strike.
Well, he's just an example of what this team has been all year, and that's everybody contributes. You know, day in and day out, you know, no matter who Fregosi throws in there or comes off the bench, guys get hits. I think Lenny said that the other day, that you look around the Phillies clubhouse and there's an awful lot of people, and there were game-winning hits, game-winning contributions. And when you have a great year the way they've had, that's what happens.
Amen. Service slowing down here to try to keep Dykstra at bay. Jordan sends a hot smash, fair down the left field side, extra bases. Dykstra headed for third. Jordan goes to second. It's a 2-base hit. Ricky Jordan 3 for 3.
Scott Service knows he wants to get the ball away from Jordan, but you hang that breaking ball a little bit middle into him, and you're getting it right where he can handle it. Watch. See, that's a slider that he wanted away, and it hung right in the middle of the plate so Ricky can top hand it and pull it down the line.
That's the Phillies' first hit off Scott's service since he came on. And now the Phils, who lead 5-0, are causing the Reds to bring the infield in for Hollins, who has walked and singled. And they're going to give him a free pass and load him up for Incaviglia. Not going to pitch to Hollins. Yeah, I wonder, down 5-0. I wonder about them putting on an extra base runner, don't you?
Well, they're going strictly percentage because now they'll play the infield back at double play depth. Davey Johnson, who made that move, looks on. Here's Davey, the longtime Mets manager, back in baseball this year.
Ball 4, and they are loaded for Incaviglia. He's also a dangerous guy with men on base. And he's got 3 of them right here. A lot of excitement and electricity in the crowd at a spot like this in the ball game.
Oh, they love him. This is a guy that everybody wondered, why'd you bring him to Philadelphia? Now he is big in town. And Pete loves playing here. He is really happy. He's having he says one of the most enjoyable years that he's had in baseball, even though he's not playing as much as he wants to.
He's never been in a pennant race before, and that's the thing he's really enjoying. So they are loaded. There is 1 out of the inning. Incaviglia today has an infield single and a strikeout. That single extended his hitting streak to 8 straight.
See if he goes right after Service. Service is a breaking ball pitcher. You would think Service would challenge him right away, but well, let's see what happens.
He did, and Inky swung, and you saw it.
Yeah, he got away from him a little bit, though. I mean, Incaviglia, I think, wanted a first ball fastball, but he threw it away, and he pulled off it just a little.
Crowd wants to see this game busted wide open. It's 5 runs as it is. And the Phillies looking at more here in the 4th. That's a strike. Incaviglia didn't think so.
Winters has a strange play today. I mean, 1 minute it's wide and then he closes it. And that time he looked like he opened it. I mean, that ball's outside. But, you know, he sometimes calls out a strike and then other times he doesn't. And that's what ticks off a player. You know, it's either a strike or it isn't, and then we'll adjust. But don't you keep adjusting.
Piece of it, still 0-2 on Incaviglia. And Demussy of Upper Darby celebrating her 78th birthday today, and we send our best along.
And happy wedding anniversary to Dennis and Peggy, K-I-E-B-A-C-H, Kieback from Sinking Springs. Anyway, happy anniversary to you. That came from Larry Shank, the Baron, gave us that one.
Checks his swing. No swing. Appeal to the first base umpire, Brian Gorman. 1-2 on Incaviglia, batting in a key spot here, but hitting a little defensively now that he's behind in the count. Chamberlain on deck. Tough spot for Scott's service.
You said, Andy, a spot really for the Phillies could break this one open.
Another just a piece of it.
Of course, you could hear him yell, and he was upset because the ball went in and out of his glove.
Yeah.
And he really wanted to hold on to that, but that, you know, what are you going to do? You catch them or you don't. There's the catcher.
Both teams using their backup catchers today. Todd Pratt is giving Darren Dalton the day off, and Joe Oliver is on the bench for Cincinnati. He was out there cavorting with the Fanatic before the ball game. Stole the Fanatic's keys to his little tricycle. Brady went that time.
Yep, he got him with a breaking ball that time.
Strikeout number 3 for Service, second out of the inning.
So Davey Johnson plays the percentages there. Service struck Incaviglia out the first time he faced him. He decided, well, I'm going to go for it again. And Service made the manager look good.
They can back up now because Chamberlain's coming up here with 2 outs.
Keep pitching that at bat, though, was the 0-1 that was called a strike and put him in the hole, and he was a defensive hitter after that.
West today has singled to drive in a run. Back in the first, he popped up to third in his second at bat. 1 for 2. Smash to left field. Open spaces. Got a good carom off the wall. Chamberlain stops at second, but he has cleared the bases. And the Phillies add 3. 8-0 Phillies.
Well, it looked like Service came first ball fastball to Chamberlain, too, and he didn't miss it. I mean, he had a clothesline that hit the wall on the fly. Now it's a breaking ball. Doggone, that's a pretty good pitch he hit, too. That's an even better at bat by West when you look at that pitch he just hit. Right off the base of the wall on a slider down and away from him. And he clears him, as Andy said. The Phillies have broken it open and might have a fairly easy afternoon now as they're going to get the bullpen up.
Johnny Ruffin up and throwing. He's got a good arm. Johnny Ruffin does. The batter now is Todd Pratt. He takes a strike. Chamberlain with 4 runs batted in today. And the Phillies have made the most of some key extra base blows. A 2-run triple by Morandini and a 3-run double by Chamberlain. Pratt has struck out and flied to center. 1-1.
Happy birthday to Bill Ross, a big Phillies fan. His birthday today, and he today was presented with a trip to Dream Week next year. So we'll see Bill Dream Week, and congratulations on your birthday.
1-2 on Pratt. Scott Service pitching in what is really known as long relief, and this is long relief. He came in the second inning.
Well, Service is another fine line kind of guy. He throws harder than few, but he's a sinker slider pitcher that has to have almost pinpoint control.
Pratt takes a called third strike. The Phillies get 3 in the inning. They do so on 2 hits, 1 man left on base. They lead 8-0, and now this from Mellon, PSFS.
It was for immigrants and their children and their dreams. It was for families, for new beginnings. And today, there's still just one reason why we always do our best. It's for you. Mellon PSFS.
When you win the Pennsylvania Lottery's Cash 5, you'll get all the cash all at once in one lump sum. It's called taking your lumps. Cash 5. All the cash all at once. When you win the Pennsylvania Lottery's Cash 5, you'll get all the cash all at once in one lump sum. It's a lot, but you can handle it. Cash 5. All the cash all at once.
This is your world, genuine and true, working together in all that you do, and you're giving it your best. Proud to be your bud, Budweiser. Proud to be your bud. Proud to be your bud. Ooh, yeah. Proud to be your. Proud to be your bud.
Here's how they scored. It's been all Phillies so far. In the first inning, Pete Incaviglia with an RBI hit. Wes Chamberlain followed with 1-2 Phils. Then in the second, Mickey Morandini, a 2-run triple to right center. Ricky Jordan knocked him in with a blue pit. And then you just saw it in the fourth inning. Bases loaded, 2 outs. First pitch breaking ball. Wes Chamberlain clears him with a double to left center. Phillies blowing the Reds away. 8-0 at this point, Andy.
All right, Wheels, and the Reds are going to bring a pinch hitter out here to bat for Scott Service. It's Greg Tubbs, a right-handed batter, a 30-year-old rookie. You don't find too many of them, but Tubbs has been a pro since '84, having been in the farm systems of Atlanta and Pittsburgh, but never getting to the majors until this year. Tubbs hitting .234, 1 homer, 2 RBIs. No pinch hits. 0 for 3 as a pinch hitter. Then the top of the lineup, Brumfield and Morris. Tubbs is from Smithville, Tennessee. Fouls it away. He was playing in Indianapolis when they brought him up. They brought him up August 1st. He was batting .305 at Indy. With 10 homers, 45 RBIs, he had played 97 games at the AAA level. One and two.
Jackson's throwing well again today and has been because he's really on top of his pitches. You see Danny get in trouble when he starts to drop down a little bit, 3/4. And he is right on top of those pitches today. Like that.
Boy, he got him with a nice breaking ball. Strikeout number 5 for Danny Jackson as Tubbs strikes out.
See, Jackson refuses to believe that he can't throw the slider the way that he used to, and he's such a competitor and he keeps working so hard. See that arm way up that time, and he really pulls that breaking ball down hard, and that way it'll have some bite to it. When he has the arm out 3/4, it's kind of flat. It rolls up there, and that's when he gets in trouble.
Brumfield 0 for 2. Ground ball to shortstop. Line drive to left field. Run down by Incaviglia. There's that slider for a strike.
It has real good bite to it today.
When Jackson's got his good stuff like he does today, he works quickly. He's anxious to get out there and throw the ball.
And he's also able to pitch in and out the way that he likes. Like he just came back inside of Brumfield. He's established both sides of the plate very well today. And as a result, he has the hitters off balance.
Nothing and 2 on Brumfield.
He throws such a heavy ball anyway that he's never been much fun to hit off.
Breaking ball, called third strike, his 6th strikeout.
He's really got that slider going this afternoon. As a result, then he doesn't have to throw those high fastballs out over the plate that he gets hurt on. Another good biter, back door, right there. Right over the top. That's a great replay that Ray Tipton and the crew had right there. And you could see his arm up.
Morris fouls the first pitch.
It's easier said than done, I guess. I mean, he knows that. It's just a matter of him getting into a comfortable groove the way that he is right now and able to get the ball at the home plate the way that Danny's pitching.
Morris, a .400 career hitter.
He hit the bat, didn't he?
He didn't think so. Morris goes to first base.
Boy, he get up quick for getting hit. Someone just yelled that it hit the bat. That's what the Phillies want to know too. I mean, look how quick he gets up.
It got him in the shoulder, Wills. And may hit. It looks like it hit both. Hit the shoulder and then the bat.
Yep, that's what it did, because it sounded like it hit the bat, and it did.
Reds got a runner with 2 away. The batter will be Thomas Howard. He did big damage here last night with a 3-run home run. Today, Howard 0 for 2. Twice he's hit the ball to shortstop. Once Stocker made the play, and once he erred. Strike 1 on Howard. Howard was a first-round draft choice of the San Diego Padres back in 1986. He was the 11th player taken in the draft that year. But he's never made much of an impact in the majors.
What we've seen of him in this series, he's quicker and stronger left-handed. And he hit his home run left-handed last night.
Yeah, there's a slow bat there.
It's a little, yeah, exactly. It's kind of a little more of a sweep type swing that he has, as opposed to from the left side where he's really quick.
Howard is from not too far from Cincinnati, Middletown, Ohio.
We're going to see a guy tomorrow that we haven't seen yet, who's a switch hitter named Kevin Roberson from the Cubs, who's really come on for them. But every time you see him bat right-handed, he's a totally different looking player. Left-handed, he hits some home runs. He may have hit all his home runs at this point left-handed too. We'll have to see on the Cubs stat sheet.
It's up high. Full count now on the batter, and that means that Morris will be off with the pitch. 2 outs here in the Reds' 5th inning. The Phillies lead 8-0. Jackson on a 2-hit shutout thus far. He's walked only 1, hit a batter, 2 reached on errors. Swung through a pitch, and Danny Jackson strikes out the side. Jackson's 7th strikeout. Down go the Reds. And we go to the bottom half of the inning. 8-0 Phillies.
The Phillies look to flatten Florida when they play the Marlins Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, September 20th through the 22nd, all at 7:35. Then they're out to bop the Braves. Friday the 24th at 7:35, Saturday the 25th at 7:05, and Sunday the 26th at 1:35 when all fans receive a free Phillies poster and more on Fan Appreciation Day. Call 463-1000.
AT&T, for sure.
AT&T?
Definitely.
If price were no object, which international long-distance company would business people choose?
AT&T.
I'd say AT&T. People said they'd choose AT&T 7-1 over anyone if price were no object, and now it may not be. Introducing Maximum Advantage. Now if your business spends over $200 a month, you can automatically get AT&T's lowest price guaranteed on international and domestic calls with
AT&T.
Absolument. Maximum Advantage from AT&T. Far and away the best in the business.
It's summer clearance time at your Hyundai dealer. And with factory cash back up to $2,000, it's the best time of the year to buy the Hyundai of your choice. Get into a thrifty new Excel right now for as little as $63.99. Plus, you don't have to make a down payment. No money down. And on top of all that, you get 2 years of scheduled service at no charge. So for big savings, no down payment, and no cost scheduled service, get into your Hyundai dealer today. Hurry in now for the best selection during summer clearance time. Ends Labor Day.
Today's Phillies game on PHL 17 is brought to you in part by Budweiser, the king of beers, who reminds you friends know when to say when. The Bell of Pennsylvania Yellow Pages. No other book can match it. A Bell Atlantic company. And by Nationwide Insurance. Nationwide is on your side. Your nationwide agent in media is Robert Legg.
A lot of changes, Andy. Looks like we just showed up in Plant City.
Yeah, Tubbs takes over in center field now. He was the pinch hitter, and he stays in the ball game. The previous center fielder, Brumfield, goes to second base. And here's something we don't often see. Juan Samuel goes over to first base. They're also bringing a new shortstop into the ball game. Here's Johnny Ruffin. The new shortstop is Brian Kelly. And Johnny Ruffin, who has a good arm. We saw Ruffin pitch here on Friday night.
Yeah, as you said, Andy, Brian Kelling's a new shortstop, and Branson's moved over to third. So a lot of changes right now for Cincinnati. They're going to bat Kelling fourth and Ruffin in the 2-hole.
Stocker, base hit for Kevin Stocker, his first of the ball game, as he greets Ruffin with a single out in the left center field. And the Phillies have their leadoff man aboard for the second inning in a row.
Danny Jackson's really set the tempo for this afternoon's game. The Phillies came out after having lost 2 in a row. He shut the Reds out in the first inning. They got a couple runs, got 3 more, and everybody's kind of loosey-goosey and having some fun today.
Jackson has singled and struck out. He's up here to bunt here. He's sacrificed 10 times. If he sacrifices successfully here, he will tie Ben Rivera for the team lead, and Ben's had that lead for a long time now. Ben hasn't laid down a successful sacrifice in about 2 months. Jackson gets it down. It's going to be a good one. Jackson is out. Ruffin does it unassisted. Stocker to second base. Dykstra will bat. Stocker at second and 1 out. Sonny is officially 0 for 1, but twice he has walked, and both times he did so, he scored. Pitch is over for a strike. Ruffin was picked up from the Chicago White Sox when the Reds traded Tim Belcher to Chicago on July 31st. He was a one-time 4th-round draft choice by the White Sox. That was back in June of '88. He was the winner here on Friday night. 2 innings of relief. Dykstra sends a high drive, deep right field. Costo can't get it. He didn't see it. It drops in. Coming around third is Stocker. The overthrow at third base. Here comes Lenny to the plate. He slides. Dykstra is out at the plate. Phillies lead 9-0.
Well, that was some play. Costo butchers this ball. He doesn't know where the wall is. Right there he looks, and now he's lost the ball, and he can't find it. It drops. Brumfield through to the cutoff man, and now the throw goes over the third baseman Bransom's head. It hits the deluxe boxes, and it came right back to Bransom. See if we can see it. There's the throw from Brumfield, but it bounces right back to Bransom, who throws from his knees and throws him out at home plate. He got a great carom off those boxes.
Well, Lenny gets a triple on a run batted in. He is out, as you say, simply 5-2 on the scoring. And with 2 outs in the inning now, Morandini is at the plate. Phillies ahead 9-0. The Phillies have scored in every inning except the third. Mickey gets jammed.
The pitcher in that play, Ruffin, was backing up home plate. That's why there was nobody there to back up that overthrow. So Lenny figured once it got over the third baseman's head, he was home free. And normally he would have been.
That ball hits the bag. It'll be a base hit for Morandini. Looked like it was going to go foul, then it hits the bag, and he gets a base hit, his second of the ball game.
Well, he put the brakes on quick, and hopefully he didn't hurt himself. Kind of staggered back to first base. Phillies, everything's going right today. This is one of those good days for them, and as Andy said, right off the bag, Morandini with an aggressive turn at first, but the ball was backed up nicely by Brumfield, who's now playing second. That's the same kind of play, a similar play that Stocker hurt his ankle on, going back kind of awkwardly like that to first.
Now the Dodger Stadium, wasn't it?
Yep.
Ricky Jordan with a very high pop that may be playable. Somwell is over. So is the pitcher. Somwell makes the play in foul ground to end the inning. But the Phillies are on the board again. They picked up a run in the inning. 3 hits, 1 man left on base, and after 5, 9-0 Phillies.
This is your world, genuine and true, working together in all that you do, and you're giving it your best. Proud to be your bud. Budweiser. Proud to be your bud. Proud to be your bud. Ooh, yeah. Proud to be your. Proud to be your bud.
It's been a record-breaking year at your Chrysler Plymouth dealer. So how should we bring it to a close? With a record-breaking clearance. Enjoy a selection of Concord's Automobile Magazine's Automobile of the Year and remarkable savings on all these 93 cars and minivans. Choose Plymouth Voyager or Grand Voyager. Get options like leather seating, anti-lock brakes, and child seat, and save thousands. The record-breaking clearance at the minivan store at your Chrysler Plymouth dealer.
Want your car done right.
If you want your car done right, it has to be done by the right people.
We take care of our customers. We do the job right.
Quality all the way.
Experience counts. The customer comes first. Satisfaction guaranteed.
We're only as good as our people. That's why Jiffy Lube is America's favorite oil change.
We got experience at Jiffy Lube.
The legendary Fighting Irish play the Midshipmen of Navy here at Veterans Stadium. That'll be on Saturday, October 30th. Order your tickets easily by phone. Just call the Phillies at 463-1000. The fun of this game is being sponsored by Super Pretzel Soft Pretzels, Herman's World of Sporting Goods, WOGL, and the Philadelphia Inquirer. Sellout at Veterans Stadium today, and we're going to see the young man Brian Kelling lead it off now for Cincinnati. He's their new shortstop. Kelling is hitting at .083. He's had 1 hit and 12 at bats since they brought him up. They've had so many injuries they had to bring him up out of Double-A. He was playing at Chattanooga.
They have their September recalls early, this ball club.
That's right. For the Lookouts, he was hitting .275 in 109 games. They brought him up on August 21st. Fly ball right field. Chamberlain has a play. West puts it away for the first out of the inning. Kelling is out, 1 down.
That ball's hit towards the Phillies bullpen, gives us a chance. Larry Anderson would like to send his best wishes along again today to Officer John Marinowitz, who was wounded in the line of duty a few months ago, and he's progressing nicely at Einstein Hospital. I believe he's in the Northern Division, so Larry keeps in touch with Officer Marinowitz and wanted to send his best along and hope he's watching the ball game today.
Tim Costo, the batter, grounded out to second, grounded into a fielder's choice, hitting the ball to third. Big swing. Danny Jackson's given up only 2 hits. None since the 3rd inning.
This guy's been the Phillies' most consistent pitcher for, I would say, the last 3 weeks, maybe.
Since he had the problem with the mound here that he complained about.
Yeah, he had that rib cage problem, and since that, he's come back strong. And, you know, he popped off a little bit about that and regretted it because the ground crew does a real good job here. And, you know, they worked on it and got a little help, some advice from George Toma. And everybody's really happy with the mound right now, so just an unfortunate thing that's over with.
The 1-2 pitch. Costo swung on a low and in pitch and does the only thing you can do with it. Danny Jackson has walked only once, 7 strikeouts for him today, which ties his season's high. Done it a couple of times. Into right field, shallow. Chamberlain's going to have to play it on the hop. Base hit for Costo. Only the 3rd Cincinnati hit. Brian Dorsett, the catcher, will come up. He's 0 for 2, reached on an error and fly to right. Despite giving up only 3 hits, Jackson has worked from the stretch quite a bit today because he hit a batter and a couple have reached on errors. So the Reds have had base runners in every inning except the 4th. Low, it's a ball. Dorsett gives it a ride, deep left field. Incaviglia has a play, makes the catch on the track. Got up under it a little because we know the ball is carrying well to left center.
Sound like he hit it off the end of the bat a little bit too, and it didn't jump. Jackson has really good movement on his pitches today, and that one might have moved away a little bit or maybe pulled off it, but he got it off the end.
Now Samuel, Juan, now the first baseman, has struck out, hit a humpback liner when he was trying to avoid a pitch, hit it out to Jordan. 2 outs. Jackson starts him with a slider but misses. 9-0 Phillies in the 6th.
Danny Jackson can get the pitch in there on a hitter. He's really difficult.
Into right center field, and it's got the gap.
Ground rule double.
And that saves a run. That's the best thing that could have happened because Costo has to stop at third. He was going to score for sure. So the Phillies get a break on a double, ground rule double by Samuel.
It's one of the few bad pitches he's thrown today. When Danny gets hurt, a lot of times it's on fastballs out over the plate, just like that. Up a little bit and out over the plate. Takes a big high afternoon bounce on that hot AstroTurf and bounces over the wall.
Good break for the Phillies, and now Jeff Branson will bat. He's a left-handed batter, so Jackson's got the edge here. He did give up a hit to Branson first time, who hit one back through the box. The last time he struck him out. Danny will get a chance to work from the windup, and like most pitchers, Wills, he's a little more effective from the windup.
Yeah, because he can really use his legs to push off when he works from that windup.
0-2 on Branson.
Now it's starting to get later in the year. The shadows are starting to come a little earlier. Creeping down towards the field.
Off the end of his bat, and an easy pop-up. Stocker drifting into left field. Called off by Incaviglia. And did he get out of the way? Stocker's a smart man. And the Reds are kept off the board by the ground rule double. No runs, 2 hits, and 2 left. We go to the bottom of the 6th. 9-0 Phillies.
No. Give me the remote. Wait, check out this new commercial. It's got Harold Miner and Dan Marley. And they are? You Nimrod. You've seen these guys before. That's Baby Jordan. And that's Thunder Dan.
Yeah, settle down, bonehead. I know who they are.
Go back. I want to see what they're wearing.
That's the same stuff we just got at Champs, only they get it all free.
Then why are we watching this?
We're not.
Nike, now playing at Champ Sports. Get the real stuff first.
Who's this guy?
Ford dealers know some problems can't be diagnosed in the shop, so they have a unique traveling companion, the Portable Vehicle Analyzer. It records engine data in ways no human eyes and ears can. Then it tells us what's wrong, so it can be serviced right the first time. Quality care, where the quality continues.
For quality service or to test drive one of the best-selling cars and trucks in America, see your local Quality Plus Ford dealer today.
Now, reports of a legendary two-footed object have been growing.
Anything? Nothing. Must be big. Even Chet's seen it.
We're getting something.
Coming over the hill, Sarge.
Hit the light, boy!
Bigfoot.
Bigfoot Pizza, the legendary value from Pizza Hut, with 2 square feet and a tasty new crust you can't get anywhere else, all for $10.99.
Okay, folks, let's break it up.
Bigfoot Pizza, the biggest pizza you can get delivered.
On PHL 17 is brought to you in part by your local Dodge dealers. Come in today because we know how to help. Bell Atlantic Mobile, advanced technology and people who make it mean something. And by the Pennsylvania Lottery. Lottery proceeds benefit older Pennsylvanians. Andy Musser with Chris Wheeler as we go to the bottom half of the 6th inning, and 9-0 Phillies. Been a while since there's been a so-called laugher, Wheels.
Yeah, the Phillies have been in a lot of tight games. They had one out in Colorado. Looked like it was going to be a laugher, and then it turned into anything but, winning 10-7.
Dave Hollins, 1 for 1 plus 2 walks, and he scored twice. Last time they walked him intentionally, and he scored. No balls and 2 strikes. The Phillies have scored off all 3 Cincinnati pitchers today, getting 5 off Pugh, 3 off Service, and 1 off Ruffin. Hollins will be followed by Incaviglia and Chamberlain as the Phillies sit here in the 6th, and the only inning in which the Phillies did not score was the 3rd, and in that inning they were put down 1-2-3.
Yeah, they've done today what they needed, which was to come out and really put it to the Reds and win a ball game, not get swept at home. That's what happened to the Cardinals last week when the Dodgers got them at Busch Stadium. And you know, when you're a contender and it's late in the season, you can't get swept at home.
Even at that, the Reds have the distinction of being only the 2nd team to come in here and win a series this year, the other being the Giants, who did it right before the All-Star break. In the case of the Giants, that was a 4-game series, and they took 3 of them.
Johnny Ruffin could throw hard.
The 0-2 pitch. Pop foul, back out of play. Wheels, I'm going to put you on the spot. Not that there's anything that the Phillies can do about it, but let's put it like this. Which team should Phillies fans be rooting for as the Phillies opponent? Huh?
I can only say what I told you a couple months ago when you and I used to talk about it, that I thought that if the Braves were to win, they would be a tougher opponent, even when the Giants were kicking the Phillies around. And I still feel that way. But the Giants are really good.
Here's a ground ball, but it goes to Samuel backhand style, and Samuel hooks up with his pitcher Ruffin for the out.
And the only reason I would say that is because if the Braves were to win, they would be so hot going into that series. They have McGriff now, and they're pitching in a short series. It's just so difficult with those starters.
They got so many of them they can't use them all.
Exactly. So you know, both teams will be very, very tough to play if the Phillies are lucky enough to get there. But I think, you know, I'd like to see the Giants come staggering home and then play them and see what happens.
All right, so we're going to root for a Giants staggering finish. Huh? Incaviglia 1 for 3 today. It was an RBI single back in the first.
Hey, they could have a heck of a race in the month of September. It should be a lot of fun for those two cities. Braves come here.
Braves come here for the final home games for the Phillies, that final weekend before the season ends on the road for the Phils. That's right. So if it should be that the Phillies would play the Braves in the playoffs, they'll play them virtually a couple of weeks in a row. And the interesting, you have to add to what you've said, of course, that the obvious, and that is that the Phillies games with the Braves this year have been more interesting games than the ones with the Giants. I mean, the Giants have dominated the series against the Phillies. They played interesting games with the Braves.
They sure have. I think that what gets lost in the shuffle when people talk about the Phillies and the Giants is what happened here, which was a freak series that weekend. Phillies have won 2 extra inning games in San Francisco when they were tied in the 9th inning, which could have, you know, they could have folded easily, and they beat them in an extra inning game here at the Vet. So they can certainly play with the Giants.
Phillies do have some hitters that do not like to hit at Candlestick Park. Incaviglia is called out on strikes, and he has struck out 3 times today.
Johnny, well, really has a good arm. Now, against right-handed hitters, he looks very tough. The left-handed hitters get better swings at him, as the Phillies showed in that 5th inning when they got 3 hits by left-handed hitters. But right-handed hitters, he has to be a little uncomfortable to hit off. That was a slider, and he probably threw that thing in the high 80s.
Now he will duel with Chamberlain, and West today has knocked in 4 runs, 1 on a first inning single and 3 on a bases clearing double in the 4th. Strike.
He's got an arm like Martinez, Pedro Martinez of the Dodgers. He's loosey-goosey, kind of skinny, and that ball just jumps out of his hand.
High fly, dead center. Tubbs is there. And he makes the catch, and down go the Phillies 1-2-3. Harry Callis and Rich Ashburn return in the 7th inning, and it's 9-0 Phillies.
It's often taken for granted, yet it's as precious as the very air we breathe. It's called freedom. And it's what inspired Independence Blue Cross and Pennsylvania Blue Shield to create the new Personal Choice, a health plan that offers people the low costs of an HMO without asking them to give up what they value most, their freedom. Personal Choice, the health plan that controls costs, not people.
It's been a record-breaking year at your Chrysler Plymouth dealers. So how should we bring it to a close? With a record-breaking clearance. Enjoy a selection of Concord's, Automobile Magazine's Automobile of the Year, and remarkable savings on all these 93 cars and minivans. Get the value-packed Plymouth Sundance, Air, Automatic, and Standard Driver's Airbag, all for around $10 grand. The record-breaking clearance now at your Chrysler Plymouth dealer.
Are you ready?
Wavelength. It's the place to get the 411. Wavelength. It's like a talk show, but cooler.
Weeknights at 5:30 on PHL 17. After 6 innings of play, it's the Phils 9 and Cincinnati nothing. Tonight at 7, Reno and Cheyenne go undercover to find the district attorney's kidnapped daughter on Renegade right here on PHL 17. Greg Tubbs leads it off. He came in to pinch hit and stayed in the game. He has struck out in his only at bat. 1 ball and no strikes. Breaking ball for a strike. Tubbs had a good year at Buffalo last year, hitting .293. Just missing. It's 2-1. Signed originally by Atlanta in the 22nd round of the June '84 draft. Gets some off that pitch. 2-2 to Tubbs. And he was traded to Pittsburgh. Signed as a free agent by the Reds' AAA Indianapolis club. Fly ball right field. Chamberlain to his right makes the grab. Tubbs out, 1 down. That'll bring on Jacob Brumfield. Well, you'd have to say among all the starters that Danny Jackson has been the most effective in the second half of the season.
Well, his last 7 starts, including this one, have been better than anybody else's. Phillies have, in this series, ran into a little pitching problem, both with starters and with some of the bullpen. Not all of them. Some of them pitched very well.
1 ball and no strikes to Brumfield. Brumfield hits it to left center, but Lenny Dykstra, good jump, good catch, 2 down. Dude got a good jump on the ball and just tracked it down for out number 2.
He did have a good jump, and he knew he had it all the way. Coasted with it.
This looks like that Jack Doherty batting for Johnny Ruffin. Doherty. Switch hitter. Pops a foul, back it out of play. Played at Texas last year where he had 205. Got him from the Houston Astros in July of this year. Doherty was hitting .390 in 42 games at Tucson. Veteran player. 1 ball and 2 strikes. That'll be a base hit to center field for Doherty. And it'll bring up Thomas Howard. Howard has been safe on an error, has grounded out and struck out. The hit given up by Jackson, number 5. One strike to Thomas Howard. Phils have led from the get-go in this one. 9-0. Phils getting 2 in the first and not looking back here. Off the end of the bat, foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Thomas Howard. Two and two. Foul ball off Pratt. That fells him. Pratt quickly to his feet.
Can take the mandatory 8 count.
3 balls and 2 strikes. A lot of sympathy in the Phillies dugout.
Oh, yeah.
Struck him out with a breaking ball. That's a season high 8 strikeouts for Danny Jackson. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left. Stretch time with the vet. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Phil's all over the Reds today, 9-0.
A fortune in gold under lock and key.
A thief would have to get all 4 keys. Quite impossible.
A moving train.
Steal from a moving railway train? I've alerted the railway line to take extra precautions.
An opportunity professional thieves couldn't afford to pass up.
Well, an unmarried gentleman must amuse himself.
From the creator of Jurassic Park, Sean Connery, Leslie Ann Down, and Donald Sutherland star in The Great Train Robbery. Tuesday at 8 on PHL 17.
Dear Midas customers, introducing the Midas $20 now, $20 later sale. Come to Midas now and you'll get $20 off your purchase. Whether it's for brakes, shocks and struts, or mufflers, that's $20 off. And because you never know when something else might go wrong, Midas will also give you $20 off your next visit. The Midas $20 now, $20 later sale. That's the Midas way, the way it should be.
You see me. Glasses that lighten and darken automatically. So had Infinity. That's why the rear view mirror in the new Q45 uses electrochromic technology to lighten and darken automatically for glare during night driving. So you don't have to think about it. Visit your Infinity showroom, and when you're ready to buy a luxury car, you won't have to think about that either.
Lease one of the world's most advanced automobiles, now at a very special rate for a limited time.
Hi, I'm Dick Vermeil with a Blue Cross Blue Shield health tip. A tip on how to fight fat, fatigue, and funk. Socialize. People who take an active role in socialization are more likely to live longer. People who stay at home alone are more likely to be overweight, drink too much alcohol, and smoke cigarettes.
Danny Jackson has only allowed 5 hits, no runs, 8 strikeouts, and 1 base on balls. And this Sunday team, Ricky Jordan 3 for 4, 2 runs scored, an RBI. Wes Chamberlain 2 for 4, 4 RBIs. Mickey Morandini 2 for 4 with a 2-run triple. That's how we stand, 9-0 here in the bottom of the 7th.
New Reds pitcher is Jerry Spradlin, a right-hander appearing in his 25th game. He's won 2, lost 1, 2 saves. His ERA 4.11. He's pitched 30 2/3 innings, given up 24 hits, 14 earned runs. He has struck out 16 and walked 7. Todd Pratt will be the first one to face him. Pratt is 0 for 3, has struck out, flied out, and struck out. 1 ball and no strikes to Pratt. Spradlin is a big guy, 6'7", 230. Comes from Fullerton, California.
Patty took a pretty good hit on that foul tip. Duncan is trying to cheer him up.
Thing that would cheer Pratty up here would be a knock.
Yeah. He's been one of the big Sunday players.
Three and 1 to Todd Pratt. Spradlin on for Johnny Ruffin, who worked 2 innings, gave up a run on 3 hits. Fouled out of play, a full count to Pratt. Roger Mason is up in the Phillies bullpen, so it could be that Danny Jackson is through after 7 very fine innings. shutout ball. There's a base hit for Todd Pratt. Well, Pratt singles to join the hit parade, the Phillies' 13th hit of the ball game. And it brings on Kevin Stocker. Yep, Danny Jackson is finished for the day as Milt Thompson moves into the on-deck circle. What a fine job by Jackson. Season high 8 strikeouts, no runs, 5 hits, and 7 strong innings.
He gave the Phillies what they really needed today after the first 2 games of this series, when Cincinnati had scored 17 runs in those 2 games.
2 balls and no strikes to Kevin Stocker. He has singled in 3 at-bats and scored a run. Backhanded by Samuel. Oh, it came close to turning the double play the hard way. Samuel looked like he'd been around first base all his life. Good play by him. Samuel to Kelling for the force at second.
Yeah, the ball was hit sharply, too. Sammy gave Kelling a great throw. Oh, I don't know. The foot might have been off the corner of that bag.
Maybe it was. Milt Thompson will pinch hit for Danny Jackson. Thompson hitting at .258 as a pinch hitter. He's 6 for 21. One ball and 1 strike. Stocker at first with 1 out. That's in the hole. That'll be a hit to right field. Stocker will hold at second. So the hits just keep coming for the Phils. That's hit number 14. And it'll bring up Lenny Dykstra. Dykstra is grounded out, walked twice, and tripled. He has knocked in a run and scored 2. Cincinnati will be going from here to St. Louis for a 3-game series with the running Redbirds.
8 strikeouts by Jackson in the season high.
Jose Rijo will pitch tomorrow. 1-1 the count to Lenny Dykstra.
Here's this afternoon's paid attendance, 58,363.
58,363 the paid attendance here.
The 5th sellout this season.
Phillies need for the remaining home days to average a little more than 28,000 per home date, and they will hit the 3 million mark.
Set an all-time record.
Yep.
Well, they ought to do that. Really not a whole lot of home games left.
A few more weeks. 4 more series. Foul back and out of play. A week from tomorrow, the Cubs move in. Next homestand will bring to Veterans Stadium the Cubs and the Houston Astros, and then the last homestand, the Florida Marlins and the Atlanta Braves. Should be an interesting weekend series with Atlanta. Jammed him, and he pops it into right center field, not deep.
Without
Tubbs calling off Costo. 4 out, number 2. And it will bring up Mickey Morandini. Mickey's 2 out of 4. His fly to deep center, tripled, flied out, and singled. Pittsburgh has beaten San Diego 7-4 behind Bob Walk. There's another hit for Morandini, and that's going to go all the way back to the fence. Stocker scores. Thompson scores. A second triple of the game for Morandini. And the Phillies lead it 11-0.
For a guy who hasn't played much lately, Morandini, third hit of the ball game, second triple, his fourth run batted in. That's a nice swing by Mickey. Low and away pitch. Pitcher's pitch.
Morandini now moves up to second in the league in triples behind only Brett Butler of the Dodgers, who has 10. Morandini with 9, and Ricky Jordan takes one for a strike. Fouls it back and out of play. Let's pause for station identification on the Phil's television network.
You're watching Phillies baseball on WPHL TV, Philadelphia.
Now balls and 2 strikes to Jordan. He's had a good ball game, 3 out of 4. One and 2. Game in Atlanta's over. The Braves have beaten the Cubs 8-2. Tom Glavine winning his 16th. In Atlanta at this moment, 3.5 behind San Francisco. The Giants will be playing in a night contest at Florida. Ground ball third base. Cranston throws Jordan out, and that will retire the side, but the Phillies get another run. 2 of them on 3 hits. No errors and 1 left. We go to the 8th inning. Phils lead the Reds 11-0.
We thought we'd been everywhere, seen everything. We were wrong.
We're back to the bone. We're back to the bone.
These guys were weird, and we liked it. Later, they took us to the Tower of Bud. Brother, tomorrow we ride again.
Looking for a great value on a sports sedan? Well, your local Nissan dealers are having one of their biggest sales events of the year.
I was in the right place, and it must have been the right time.
Lease a Sentra XE Limited Edition with an airbag for only $500 down and $169 a month. You'll get air conditioning, cruise control, and an AM/FM stereo cassette at no extra charge. Your local Nissan dealer. It's the right place, it's the right time.
I was in the right place, and it must have been the right time.
Do you want your car done right?
If you want your car done right, bring it to a place that puts its money where its mouth is. Bring it to Jiffy Lube, where millions of cars every year are covered by our pledge of satisfaction.
Everybody says they'll do the job right, but at Jiffy Lube, we guarantee it. One more reason Jiffy Lube is America's favorite oil change.
We got experience at Jiffy Lube.
Today's Phillies game on PHL 17 is brought to you in part by Jiffy Lube, America's favorite oil change. By AT&T, because you're not the same as anybody else, there's the iPlan. And by your local Quality Plus Ford dealer. Now's the time to save big on the best-selling cars and trucks in America during our Ford dealers model year-end clearance sale. Milt Thompson stays in the game. He's playing center field, so Lenny Dykstra getting a couple of innings off anyhow. And Roger Mason is the new pitcher. Thompson will bat in the number 9 spot where he pinch hit. Roger Mason will bat in the number 1 spot. one strike. Nothing in two to Brian Kelling. Kelling's second at bat. Flied out to right in his first at bat since entering the game. He's called out on strikes. Well, Mason starts it with a strikeout. One down. It'll bring on Tim Costo. Costo has singled in 3 at-bats. Roger Mason's won 4, lost 10, a 3.56 ERA. With the Phillies, he's 4-3. 7 of his losses coming while with San Diego. Surprising that he has 10 losses because he has pretty good numbers. 86 innings, just 73 hits in 86 innings. 58 strikeouts, 26 walks. Costo fooled by that pitch. Not your
Iowa swings.
Not your Spalding guide swing. No, that was not a Hawkeye swing, Whitey. Three and one.
He's the greatest ball player to ever come out of the state of Iowa.
Baseball?
Sure.
Bob Feller.
Van Meter, Iowa.
That is correct.
Ooh.
Tough day for Pratty. Pratty fighting cameras and that ledge fronting the duck. But Todd Pratt smiles a lot. His teammates really like him. He's a nice young man. Look at him.
He's trying to find a hole there to get into, but
Jim Fregosi feeling comfortable about this one with an 11-0 lead, and Costo's blown away by Roger Mason. 2 straight strikeouts for Mason. There's Jim Eisenreich, had the day off. Kurt Schilling will be pitching tomorrow at Wrigley Field in Chicago tomorrow night. Bring on Brian Dorsett. Dorsett is 0 for 2. He really had a good year last year at Buffalo. Hit .289 at Buffalo, 21 homers and knocked in 102. He's a veteran receiver, 32 years of age. 1 ball and 1 strike. And 2 strikes. Will Mason strike out the side?
Got a shot.
Nope. Bouncing ball shortstop. But he will put him down 1, 2, 3. And we go to the bottom of the 8th. It's 11-0 Phils.
To a new house, little things are going to come up. Unexpected things. Things the previous owner forgot to mention. So to make your new house a home, turn to the book with more choices. It can even help if you want to get out of the house for a while. The genuine New Jersey Belle Yellow Pages. 9 out of 10 use it. No other book can match it. A Bell Atlantic company.
Nobody's going to give us the Nobel Prize for designing a filtering system for Sunoco gasoline. But this filter keeps particles that can find their way into gasoline from finding their way into your engine. We've been told we're a tad obsessive. Tell that to the guy on the side of the road with a clogged fuel line.
And now Sunoco will accept any valid gasoline credit card when you apply for a Sunoco card. And we'll give you a free, dictionary.
Apply for a Sunoco card and you'll never be at a loss for words.
People. Man, are they different. What they like in Spain isn't what they like in France. Nobody likes the same thing. So how come everybody loves Volkswagen? Germany, France, England, Sweden, Finland, Japan. The new Golf is the best-selling car in the world. The new Jet is loved everywhere. You know, maybe people aren't that different after all. The new Volkswagens, the most loved cars in the world.
Good afternoon. I'm Neil Hartman with a sports break. In the National League this afternoon, New York and Colorado 1-1 in the 5th inning. Montreal 3-0 out in front of Houston. They're in the 8th inning. The Braves are now 3.5 games behind the Giants in the National League West because they won 8-2 this afternoon over Chicago. David Justice with his 34th home run. Tom Glavine now 16-5. Pittsburgh 7 and San Diego 4 in the first of 2. They're just getting underway in game 2. St. Louis and Los Angeles just underway in the first inning, and San Francisco takes on Florida tonight. 11-0 to the bottom of the 8th. Harry and Richie.
All right, thanks, Neil. And Kim Baptiste will get his first at bat. Came in defensively for Dave Hollins. Baptiste hitting at .286. 5 homers and 29 RBIs. Oh, did he smoke that ball? He took advantage of that one at bat. Just ripped the ball on a short hop off the left field fence for a double. Hit number 16 for the Phillies.
Hit a slider and blistered it. Banged against that wall. He's amazing. You know, he can sit down for 2 weeks and never get an at-bat and come off the bench. He's done that a few times.
He's really strong.
Lugosi says he's the strongest player on the team, and that's saying something when you have this guy up there at the plate now.
Really.
And Dalton, Hollins.
1 strike to Incaviglia. Incaviglia is single to knock in a run and then has struck out 3 straight times. Nothing in 2. Bills leading 11-0. Have out hit the Reds 16-5. One ball and 2 strikes. It's 2-2.
Keep saying it, Harry. There are some good arms on this Cincinnati club out of some of these young pitchers. Throw hard. This is another one right here.
Back through the middle. That'll be a hit to center field. Baptiste will score easily, and the Phillies lead at 12-0. The second RBI of the game for Incaviglia. Inkman now has 79 runs batted in.
Got jammed just a little bit here up around the trademark, but got good location there back through the middle.
79 RBIs on 86 hits. Don't forget the Phillies are back home on Monday against those Chicago Cubs. Mark Grace, Derek May and company. Ryan Sandberg will be in. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Labor Day will be a 7:05 game. Then Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 7:35. And the Astros in for the weekend. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Sunday is backpack day for all youngsters 14 and under. Great back-to-school giveaway item. Plan to be on hand for the next homestand. Call 463-1000 or stop by any one of the local Ticketmaster locations. Ball on a strike to Chamberlain. He's had a good ball game. He's 2 for 4. And he's knocked in 4. And a big bases loaded double in the 4th. In tight to him. 2-1.
He's a man of 1,000 stances. The one he has now he's kept for a while, and I guess he would. He's had some success with it.
Beats the ball foul past Larry Boa.
Kind of frees his arms up the way he's approaching the ball, and he's so strong and quick with the bat.
Struck him out. That's the first out of the inning. And it'll bring up Todd Pratt, who is 1 for 4. Pratt has struck out, flied out, struck out, and singled. One ball and no strikes. Check swing foul. 1-1. Kurt Schilling pitches tomorrow night at Chicago. He will be opposed by Frank Castillo. Tuesday afternoon, Ben Rivera and Mike Morgan, and on Wednesday afternoon, Terry Mulholland and Mike Harkey. Into center, fairly deep, but Tubbs is back there. And he makes the catch for out number 2. It'll bring up Kevin Stocker. Stocker is 1 out of 4.
Stocker's playing the role of a bat boy. I don't know where the bat boy went. There's Anthony down there with a cast on his hand.
He also shaved his head, or somebody shaved it for him, Anthony Panuta. Saw him in the clubhouse. He said, looked at his bald pate, and he said, don't ask. To Brumfield, throw to first, and Stocker is out. That'll retire the side. Phillies got a run, 2 hits, no errors, 1 left. We go to the 9th. Bills lead 12-0.
There we were, a jillion miles outside of the hood. The bus got a flat, got no jack. Homie's got to cut his grass. What's up?
4 and a half. If 4 and a half, here down. Sold.
The man's round sells, but he's got no beat. Pardon me.
That was that. Huh?
Yo, MC Cowseller. Fresh.
The Phillies look to flatten Florida when they play the Marlins Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, September 20th through the 22nd, all at 7:35. Then they're out to bop the Braves. Friday the 24th at 7:35, Saturday the 25th at 7:05, and Sunday the 26th at 1:35 when all fans receive a free Phillies poster and more on Fan Appreciation Day. Call 463-1000.
It's been a record-breaking year at your Chrysler Plymouth dealers. So how should we bring it to a close? With a record-breaking clearance. Enjoy a selection of Concords, Automobile Magazine's Automobile of the Year, and remarkable savings on all these 93 cars and minivans. Get Plymouth Acclaim, the lowest price 6-passenger car in America, with air and automatic. Save around $2,600. The record-breaking clearance, now at your Chrysler Plymouth dealer.
After 8 innings of play, it's the Phillies 12 and Cincinnati nothing. Tomorrow at 6:30, Al builds his very own bathroom, and at 7, Kelly dances her way out of a jam on Married with Children, only on PHL 17. Juan Samuel leads it off for the Reds. He is struck out, hit a humpback line drive out and doubled. And he hits that off the end of the bat on one hop to Stocker. One pitch and one out here in the ninth. Roger Mason in his second inning in relief of Danny Jackson. Roger will be 35 years of age in September. Born, raised, and still makes his home in Bel Air, Michigan. Loves Bel Air, Michigan. Has pitched in the big leagues for Detroit, San Francisco, Houston, and Pittsburgh. Phillies got him from San Diego in the Tim Mauser deal. One and one to Branson, who is 1 out of 3. Danny Jackson went the first 7 shutout innings, striking out 8. And Mason has retired all 4 that he's faced. The mound helped kick that one to Morandini, and Branson is out. Might have gone up the middle, except the mound gave it a little bit of a turn toward Morandini. 2 down. That'll bring on Greg Tubbs. Tubbs has struck out and flied out to right. One ball and no strikes. Those Yankees have come back at Cleveland. They lead Cleveland now 10-7.
They were down, what, 7-3, I think?
7-2 or 3, yeah. Three balls and no strikes to Tubbs. A little bit high, walked him. That's first base runner against Mason. And it'll bring on Jacob Brumfield. Brumfield had a great first 2 games of this series, but he's taken the collar today. He's hit it hard a couple of times. He's grounded out, line to left, struck out, and line to center. One strike to Brumfield. Joe Oliver has moved into the on-deck circle. He would bat for the pitcher Spradlin if Brumfield reaches. 1-1. This is Oliver. Foul backing out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Fans now on their feet in anticipation of the last out of this game. Close. 2-2.
Shadow dropping over home plate. We'll start seeing a lot of that late here in the season.
Struck him out to end the ball game. 3 strikeouts for Mason. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 left. Phillies win by a score of 12-0. Great effort by Danny Jackson, Mickey Morandini, a couple of triples. Wes Chamberlain, a big bases loaded double as the Phils thumped the Cincinnati Reds 12-0. Back with the totals and a recap in a moment.
Okay, Joe. See you later, okay?
Now, reports of a legendary two-footed object have been growing.
Anything? Nothing. Must be big. Even Chet's seen it.
We're getting something.
Coming over the hill, Sarge.
Hit the light, boy. Bigfoot.
Bigfoot Pizza, the legendary value from Pizza Hut. With 2 square feet and a tasty new crust you can't get anywhere else. All for $10.99.
Okay, folks, let's break it up.
Bigfoot Pizza, the biggest pizza you can get delivered.
There are some things that money can't buy. Infiniti believes safety should be one of those things. That's why they're the only car company whose entire line includes standard, not only ABS and dual airbags, but automatic seatbelt pretensioners to help snug the belt around you as the airbags deploy. From their least expensive G20 to their most luxurious Q45. Would a visit to your Infiniti showroom be in order? I think that's safe to say.
It's a free back-to-school backpack. Compliments of Campbell Soup when the Phillies play the Houston Astros Sunday, September 12th at 1:35. Backpack, baseball, and the Broad Street Bombers. All right. Call 463-1000 now.
Phillies banged out 17 hits today, 3 by Mickey Morandini, 3 by Ricky Jordan, 4 RBI game for Wes Chamberlain as the Phils bombed Cincinnati 12-0 here at Veterans Stadium to salvage a game in this series. For the winning Phils, 12 runs on 17 hits, 2 errors, and 8 left. Reds, no runs, 5 hits, no errors, they left 10. Combined shutout pitching of Danny Jackson, the winner, 11-9, and Roger Mason. And Tim Pugh took the loss. He is 8-13. 58,363, the paid attendance this afternoon. We'll be back with more from the vet right after these messages.
Looking for a great car at a great price? Well, your local Nissan dealers are having one of their biggest sales events of the year.
I was in the right place, and it must have been the right time.
For a limited time, you can lease a Nissan Maxima GXE for just $1,000 down and $299 a month. Lease a Sentra XE Limited Edition for just $500 down and $169 a month. Or buy an Altima starting at $13,000. Your local Nissan dealer. It's the right place. It's the right time.
I was in the right place, and it must have been the right time.
Definitely not.
Absolutely not.
Negative.
To save pennies per call on your 800 service, would you risk losing sales?
No way.
No. Not a chance.
That's what over 9 out of 10 800 users we surveyed said. Introducing Maximum Advantage from AT&T. Now you can automatically get AT&T's lowest price guarantee on the most reliable 800 service in the business. Know anyone who can beat that?
No.
Maximum Advantage from AT&T, the best in the business.
No. Give me the remote. Wait, check out this new commercial. It's got Harold Miner and Dan Marley. And they are? You Nimrod. You've seen these guys before. That's Baby Jordan. And that's Thunder Dan.
Yeah, settle down, bonehead. I know who they are.
Go back, I want to see what they're wearing.
That's the same stuff we just got at Champs, only they get it all free.
Then why are we watching this?
We're not.
Nike, now playing at Champ Sports. Get the real stuff first.
Who's this guy?
On Real Stories of the Highway Patrol.
That's it. Get it. Get out. Good boy.
A canine unit stumbles across a motherload of marijuana, over 52 pounds.
This is not his first load. This is probably his 40th or 50th load.
Plus,
anybody hurt?
A drunken woman tries to explain her life-threatening mistake as angry onlookers protest.
Don't drive drunk.
On Real Stories of the Highway Patrol.
Tomorrow at 7:30 on PHL 17.
Phillies over the Reds, 12-0. Wes Chamberlain knocked in 4, got a big bases-loaded double. Mickey Morandini 3 hits, including 2 triples, giving Danny Jackson his 11th win. A fine job by Jackson, who went 7 shutout innings with a season-high 8 strikeouts this afternoon. So the Phils win it over the Reds by a score of 12-0, now 9.5 ahead of the Cardinals, pending the outcome of their game at Los Angeles. Our next telecast here on the Phillies television network will be tomorrow night from Wrigley Field in Chicago. We'll be on the air at 8 o'clock for the first of a 3-game series with the Cubs. Kurt Schilling goes for the Phils. He'll be opposed by Frank Castillo for the Cubs. Check your local listings for the games carried in your area. Once again, the final 12-0 Phils over the Reds. For Rich Ashburn, Andy Musser, and Chris Wheeler, Harry Callis saying thanks a lot for watching. Talk to you from Wrigley Field in Chicago tomorrow night on the Phils television network. the Phillies. And the Cincinnati Reds has been brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers, who reminds you friends know when to say when. By the Bell of Pennsylvania Yellow Pages. No other book can match it. A Bell Atlantic company. By Mellon PSFS, the official bank of the Phillies. And by Independence Blue Cross and Pennsylvania Blue Shield. Personal choice, the health plan that controls costs, not people.